Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto inherit Yondaime genius and under the protection of Jiraiya and Kakashi part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. 5 years has passed since the attack from the great demon Kyuubi no Kitsune. 5 years has passed since the great beast was sealed within the newborn son of Yondaime Hokage Konoha's yellow flash. Sarutobi set his gaze on the 4 stone faces carved on the mountain. His eyes traveled from the first stone face, then moving on to the second. A smile formed in his face as his eyes passed his own stone face. Sarutobi let out a sigh of grief after stopping at the 4th stone face. Still so young, and yet you already left this world, he thought as he saw a white-haired man followed by a silver-haired Anbu enter the building. Sarutobi continued to watch the Hokage monument, waiting for his 2 visitors to arrive. After a few minutes the door to his office creaked open. Turning around to greet his visitors, Sarutobi finally came face to face with his former student and the prized student of the Yondaime. Jiraiya of the Sannin and Copy Ninja Hatake Kakashi Anbu captain stood there at attention waiting for orders. While Kakashi was waiting for any orders, Jiraiya was looking at the view from the Hokage office. "Ohio Sarutobi-sensei, care to tell me why you pulled me out of my research?" Jiraiya asked, eyeing the old man before him while the young boy beside him stifled a perverted giggle. Sarutobi let out a small smile as he went back behind his desk and sat down. He motioned for the 2 of them to do the same, in which the 2 politely obliged. Taking out his pipe, Sarutobi quickly lit it while continuing to look out the window. He puffed on the pipe for a few minutes. He then put his pipe down on the ashtray, and turned his attention to a rather impatient Jiraiya. "Well? What was your reason for dragging me back in Konoha?" Jiraiya said, his voice filled with impatience and anger. "I know you're still not over the fact that he is gone." Sarutobi started, his eyes calmly observing the 2 men's faces. His eyes narrowed when he noticed the guilt and pained look from the 2 men. A pained look could now be seen in Jiraiya's visage while Kakashi had a guilty look on his face. Both men were looking at the ground, avoiding Sarutobi's gaze. "I asked Kakashi-kun here to track you down because there is something we must discuss." Sarutobi continued. A twinkle in his eye could be seen as he started to explain his reason. "As you know, the Kyuubi no Kitsune was sealed within a newborn baby boy. Not just any baby but his own son," Sarutobi said. Jiraiya and Kakashi looked up from their stupor to listen intently to what Sandaime had to say. "Since it took 3 years and a half just to track you down, I took it upon myself to care for the boy, all the while waiting for you to return." Jiraiya raised an eyebrow at this, knowing full well that the duties of a Kage was rather hectic and had very little time for leisure. Sarutobi held out his hand to stop the white-haired man from asking questions. "I had young Naruto placed under the care of the Uchiha clan during times when I am unavailable to care for the child. This proved quite a good thing also, since the Uchiha clan not only cared for the child, they also started teaching him in the ways of the shinobi." Sarutobi continued. This caused Jiraiya to have a rather shocked look on his face. "Yes, Jiraiya, I think it was a wise decision, but sad to say not everyone in the village see the boy as the hero but as the demon itself. This is where you come in, my former student, as well as you, Kakashi-kun," Sarutobi said, looking directly into the 2's eyes with a serious expression. "Jiraiya, put your research work on hold as much as it pains me. I want you back here as a Jounin sensei in Konoha," Sarutobi announced, which caused Jiraiya to rise from his seat in anger and surprise. Sarutobi once again held out his hand to hold Jiraiya's questions and protest. He then continued, "Kakashi-kun, you and Jiraiya will be the boy's mentors since the 2 of you knew his father best, but do not divulge information about his lineage. I have already made arrangements for your stay here, Jiraiya. Your old house here is still where you last left it." After his explanation, Jiraiya began to bombard Saruto with questions. "Why the hell does it have to be me? Why can't Tsunadehan do it? I'm not cut out to take care of the boy." Jiraiya yelled out his frustration. He really didn't want to put his research work on hold, but a glare from Sarutobi quickly made him change his mind. Kakashi meanwhile tried to raise a question, but the tense air between Sandaime and his former student, "Sarutobi-sama, where is the boy now?" Kakashi asked the question, which made the 2 men in front of him turn towards his direction. Sarutobi had a thoughtful look on his face, then glanced at the clock, a small smile forming on his face. "Naruto-kun is at the academy right now attending classes," Sarutobi replied casually, while Kakashi and Jiraiya's expression were of pure shock. Sarutobi then motioned for the 2 men to follow him towards the academy. "I believe classes are just about to end. Naruto-kun apparently has inherited his father's genius and rather hyperactive persona. And before the 2 of you ask me why Naruto-kun is attending the academy at such a young age, well, it would be because the boy seems more mature than kids his age. You see, Naruto has already been through 3 assassinations attempts from shinobis holding a grudge on the boy or the demon. If not for the protection of young Itachi and his father, the boy would no longer be among us. Naruto has seen someone attempt to kill him. This caused the boy to be in such a traumatic state. Also, this led me to explain to him about his special condition," Sarutobi said while calmly leading the nodding men towards their destination. "How did the boy take it, sensei?" Jiraiya asked, fully interested now in training the boy. Sarutobi stopped for a few minutes to puff on his pipe before turning around to reply to Jiraiya's question. "Naruto-kun was angry at first, but then after I told him about Yondaime's dying wish, the boy went silent for 3 days. not talking to anyone, not even to the Uchihas who he has regarded as a family. After 3 days of silence, Naruto came to me asking if there was a way for him to become stronger and uphold Yondaime's dying wish, Sarutobi said, a small tear rolling down his eyes when he remembered that day like it was yesterday. So I started schooling him, teaching him the basics like math, shinobi history, and the essentials of a growing boy. After a year of home schooling from me and the Uchihas, I enrolled him to the academy to further his knowledge. This is his 2nd year in the academy. After a few more minutes of telling Jiraiya and Kakashi what they were to do with the boy, the 3 men arrived at the academy just in time to see the children coming out of the classes. The 3 of them walked on inside the building while the children and adults greeted Saruto and the 2 men in respect. Kakashi-kun, do you remember your time in this academy? Sarutobi asked. Kakashi just nodded while looking around the place, memories flooding back to him as he followed the Hokage through the many hallways of the academy, reaching a door where a lot of noise seemed to be coming from. The boy may be able to match your record as the youngest to graduate from the academy. Sarutobi smiled before opening the room and ushering the 2 men inside the classroom. Inside the room sat a short blonde 5-year-old, silently listening to a bearded Chunin who was discussing the lesson to the boy. The Chunin instructor, finally noticing the 3 men, stopped his discussion and motioned for the boy to turn around. Upon turning around, the boy's expression quickly became more lively as he jumped out from his seat and ran towards the 3 men. Hi Sarutobi Ojizen. Guess what? Guess what? Naruto said as he skidded to a stop in front of the 3 men while Sarutobi just chuckled at the boy's antics. I've almost mastered the basic essentials of a shinobi. I can perform Henji no Jutsu and Kawarini no Jutsu. I'll be learning Bunshin no Jutsu next week, Naruto shouted excitedly while bouncing on the ball of his feet. Sarutobi chuckled some more while Jiraiya curiously watched the boy. Kakashi meanwhile had a small smile on his face, but it was well hidden from everyone's view due to his mask. That's very good, Naruto, that's quite an achievement, and keep up your hard work, Sarutobi replied while kneeling down to meet the boy eye to eye. Now Naruto, settle down, I want you to meet some people, Sarutobi said as he motioned for Jiraiya and Kakashi to come forward. Naruto, finally noticing the 2 men, immediately became silent and looked at the men with distrust in his eyes. Jiraiya and Kakashi were clearly shocked by the boy's reaction to them. Don't worry my boy, they aren't here to hurt you. In fact, they're here to raise you, Sarutobi said, reassuring the boy who was still looking at Jiraiya and Kakashi. Kakashi then knelt down beside the Sandaime and gave Naruto a smile as he took his hand out, offering it to the blonde boy. Yo! I'm Hatake Kakashi, what's your name? Kakashi said, his voice cheerful as the boy stared at him for a few seconds before taking his hand and shaking it in a friendly manner. Naruto then grinned and told Kakashi his name. Jiraiya chose to follow Kakashi's example and introduce himself in a more fashionable way. Naruto watched with glee as the white-haired man performed his introduction, much to Sarutobi and Kakashi's embarrassment. You're a pervert, Naruto said as he pointed in accusing at the white-haired Sannin. Jiraiya had a sweat drop on the back of his head as he let out an embarrassed laugh, which of course was followed by Naruto laughing at Jiraiya for admitting he was a pervert. Kakashi meanwhile quickly hid a small orange book by shoving it into his shuriken pouch so the boy wouldn't see it. Naruto, you are going to live with Jiraiya now, and Kakashi will be like your big brother. Both of them are going to teach you how to become a strong shinobi, Sarutobi explained while Kakashi picked up the blonde boy and made the boy sit on his shoulders. Naruto now had a gleeful look on his face as he laughed a genuine laugh. The 3 men soon joined in on the laughter. So on that day Naruto went to the care of Jiraiya and Kakashi as his guardians. Jiraiya as the father figure while Kakashi became Naruto's big brother figure next to Uchiha Itachi. Naruto would continue to visit the Uchiha manor, often training with Itachi and his father. Jiraiya continued Naruto's training outside of the academy, often teaching the boy the things that were not taught inside the school. Kakashi of course trained Naruto in taijutsu and other physical aspects of training like stamina and chakra building. On the same day that the Uchiha massacre occurred, Naruto graduated from the academy with top marks, all thanks to the help of Jiraiya and Kakashi's tutoring. The 3 of them celebrated Naruto's graduation in Ichiraku Ramen, where Naruto met a sophomore Chunin by the name of Yumino Irika. The 2 of them quickly became fast friends with a common love for ramen. The next day the news about the Uchiha massacre became the talk of Konoha. Many were quite shocked to hear that Uchiha Itachi had killed everyone in his clan except his brother Sasuke. Sarutobi had quickly dispatched a team of hunter nins led by Kakashi to capture the now missing nin Itachi. All of Konoha felt the severe blow from its depletion of shinobis, since most of the Uchiha clan were part of the Konoha police force. Naruto also mourned for the loss of the Uchihas, since the clan had taken time to care for him since he was a baby, although he never met Sasuke. Naruto grieved for a short while before returning to his duties as a genin. Sarutobi assigned Naruto to Jiraiya as his jounin sensei, which of course also became an issue from the council and village elders. Sarutobi silenced them by saying he is only fulfilling Yondaime's dying wish. Everyone eventually grudgingly accepted this while others thought differently. Naruto meanwhile didn't really feel lucky to be trained by a Sannin plus extra training from Kakashi after the scheduled hours of training by the frog Sannin. Jiraiya then started teaching Naruto chakra control and strategy while Kakashi continued with the physical aspects, increasing the boy's stamina and chakra capacity. Kakashi also worked Naruto on speed and strength, often subjecting the boy to weighted clothing and laps around Konoha. Kakashi would also train the boy's dexterity by throwing projectiles at him while under the influence of weights, and a gravity-enhanced training method created by the Yondaime himself. Naruto soon grew in strength physically and mentally under the tutelage of Jiraiya and Kakashi while showing him the other side of shinobis, the side of which that shows shinobis as human beings and not just killing tools. Jiraiya would also take Naruto on missions so let the boy gain some experience as a shinobi. Sarutobi took close watch of Naruto's growth, a smile forming on his face every time he saw the Yondaime's legacy strive his hardest in life. But even though Naruto was strong and skilled, he was still a boy who just wanted to have friends. Oftentimes Naruto would only meet cold eyes from the villagers and rejected from his peers. Although it pained the boy not to be acknowledged by the villagers of his home, Naruto would always put a smile on his face and continue on. Naruto eventually found a few friends his age. He befriended Nara Shikamaru of the Nara clan, often challenging the budding genius to a game of shugi. Next Naruto befriended Akimichi Chuji of the Akimichi clan during a game of ninja. While he was watching the game since he wasn't allowed to play. Soon the three of them were inseparable. During their free time Naruto, Shikamaru and Chuji are often seen either watching the clouds and eating chips or training. When Naruto's duties as a genin called him away on missions, his two friends would often wait for him, or watch the clouds on their own. Their friendship lasted for a long time until Jiraiya and Kakashi made Naruto take the Chunin selection exam. During these times the Chunin exam was quite different. It was held in Akagahara where the Chunin hopefuls were tasked to retrieve the crimson four-leaf clover. It was in this exam that Naruto met different foreign shinobi. This was also where Naruto made his first kill, his first time to kill a shinobi. At first it shook him since he had never taken a life before. This was also the first time that Kyuubi's powers surfaced. Everyone in the village felt the intense killer intent coming from the testing area. Jiraiya, Kakashi and Sandaime immediately rushed to the scene, followed closely by a squad of Anbu. When they reached the place where the source of the killer intent originated, they found Naruto standing over a dead Chunin while being surrounded by the marionette shinobi squad. Kakashi made a move to rescue the still trembling boy, but Jiraiya and Sandaime quickly held him back. The three of them and the squad of Anbu just looked on as a berserk Naruto began to deal with the marionettes, using the skills that he learned from Kakashi and Jiraiya. Well, it seems the Kyuubi has finally awakened from its slumber within Naruto, Sarutobi said after the Chunin selection exams were finished. Out of 70 genins who entered Akagahara to partake in the exam, only 15 came out of the training area safely. Each of the 15 held a crimson four-leaf clover in their hands. One of these was Naruto. The 15 of them, after presenting the four-leaf clover to the judges, meaning the kages present and daimyos, were then given Chunin flak jackets and promoted to the rank of Chunin. After being promoted to Chunin, Jiraiya took Naruto away on a training exercise to train the Yondaime's legacy in controlling the Kyuubi's chakra and perhaps even taming the great beast. So for 6 months Konoha didn't see the white-haired Sannin or his young apprentice. During these 6 months Jiraiya began teaching Naruto how to use Kyuubi's chakra after striking a deal with the fox, of course. The fox, stubborn as it already was, put up a good fight and refusing to pay rent as Naruto called it, but in the end the fox agreed to help Naruto. After the grueling training session he had undergone with Jiraiya, Naruto came back to the village to resume his duties as a Chunin of Konoha. Naruto is now 7 years old, 2 years since he graduated from the academy. Naruto would then often join Kakashi on missions ranking from C rank to B rank, all the while learning from his big brother figure. Naruto also went on solo missions that were issued to him by Sarutobi. Jiraiya continued to teach Naruto the jutsus that he had learned, also some of the jutsus that the Yondaime created. At 8 years old Naruto followed Kakashi's example and joined the ranks of Anbu, where he came under the tutelage of Marino Ibiki, who specialized in interrogation ANF torture, and Midarashi Enko, who used to be an apprentice to the Sannin Orochimaru before the snake Sannin defected from Konoha 9 years ago. It was also during this time that Sarutobi sent Jiraiya on a reconnaissance mission on a new organization rumoring to be growing in power. Naruto, clothed in the Anbu uniform along with a black cloak and a white mask that resembled a menacing fox, stood at the gates of Konoha waiting for his father figure to arrive. Beside him stood Kakashi wearing similar clothes as him, except his cloak was of a dirty white color signifying his rank as an Anbu captain. "Are you sure he's leaving at this time, Kakashi-Nizen?" Naruto asked, while trying to find any signs of the frog hermit. Kakashi just nodded, his eye never leaving the orange book that he was reading. Naruto rolled his eyes in annoyance, giving Kakashi a disapproving look on the book he was reading. Jiraiya had just published his second novel Ika Ika Paradise, at which of course Kakashi immediately bought after it hit the stores. The sound of popping signaled the arrival of the frog hermit. Naruto turned his attention to the new arrival. Jiraiya had an impish grin on his face as he faced his young protege and the Anbu captain. "Well, I'm off for my mission, so I guess this is goodbye for now," Jiraiya said, kneeling down to meet Naruto eye to eye. He reached from his back pocket and pulled out a large scroll from it. He then handed it to Naruto. "This, Naruto, is something that the Yondaime left for you. Sarutobi is gonna strangle me for giving you this, but I feel it is time that you learn the true reason why Kyuubi was sealed in you," Jiraiya said. Kakashi placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder as Jiraiya stood up and bade his farewell to the two of them. "I'll be back once this mission is complete. Until then, Naruto, train more and remember what I taught you and learn the techniques in that scroll," Jiraiya said, flashing the blonde-haired Anbu with a grin. Naruto returned the grin with his own grin. "Yash! Don't worry Jiraiya-sensei, I'll definitely learn the techniques left to me by Yondaime Hokage and I'll prove to the villagers I'm worthy of their acknowledgement, Naruto said, taking the hood off his head, revealing his unruly spiky hair. Naruto then pocketed the scroll and gave Jiraiya a hug. Till we meet again Jiraiya-sensei, Naruto said as he let go of the hug and took a step back. And Naruto, if our furry friend decides to become a bit of a problem, you know what to do, Jiraiya said. His voice was serious when he said those words. Naruto just nodded happily, grinning back as Kakashi also waved bye to the frog hermit. I leave Naruto to you, Kakashi. I'll send you a copy of new volumes along with my mission updates, Jiraiya said as he started walking away from the village gates. Till we meet again, Jiraiya-sama, till we meet again, Kakashi said as he and Naruto disappeared in poofs of smoke, to return to their duties as ANBUs. Jiraiya looked back one last time before taking to the trees at a high speed. Train hard, young Naruto, and make your father proud, were Jiraiya's thoughts as Konoha's gates shut tight. Time jumped to 4 years later. Konohagakure has grown in strength and power. Peace has reigned over Konoha under the leadership of Sarutobi, third generation Fire Shadow. Sarutobi was once again looking at the Hokage monument, even though the stone faces reminiscing about his younger days. On his desk was a wrapped rectangular package addressed to him. He already knew the contents of the package: Jiraiya's mission report and his autographed copy of the new volume. Being Jiraiya's former sensei had its perks when it came to his lecherous students' perverted novels. A knock on his door brought Sarutobi back to reality. With an exhausted sigh, he told his visitor to come in. Sarutobi quickly went back to his desk, putting away the small package into his drawer just as his visitor entered the room. He finally looked up to greet his visitor. Ohio Naruto-kun, I see you have come for your report, Sarutobi greeted while taking the folder from the young boy in front of him. Naruto still looked the same in the 4 years that had passed. He still wore the issued ANBU uniform, except now instead of the midnight black cloak, a dirty white cloak now covered the uniform. Naruto then took off his mask and removed the hood as he sat down on the chair. He gave Sarutobi a small grin while the old man scanned through his mission report. After a few moments, Sarutobi put the mission report down and smoked on his pipe. Naruto patiently waited for the Sandaime to finish his pipe before asking if something was up. I see, so I take the mission was a success? Sarutobi asked, at which Naruto raised an eyebrow at the old man's question before answering in the only way Sarutobi knew the boy would respond. The boy stood up from his seat and glared at the old man for a few minutes before speaking. What you mean, was the mission a success? Didn't you read my report, old man? It said target eliminated, Naruto roared while Sarutobi just grinned. A twinkle in his eye could be seen as the old man began to chuckle in laughter. At least you're still the same, Naruto, Sarutobi said as he too got up and walked over to the window. He let out a puff of smoke before speaking again. How long have you been a member of the ANBU, Naruto-kun? Sarutobi asked. His hazel orbs were pointed at the direction of the Hokage monument. Naruto shifted from his seat to look at where Sarutobi was sightseeing. For years, Sandaime-sama, I've been in ANBU for 4 years, Naruto replied as he let his body relax. 4 years of non-stop training and doing missions. Since he didn't have that many friends except for Shikamaru and Chuji, Naruto would often be seen training in training field number 7, perfecting his chakra control and physical abilities. Naruto also now knew that he was the son of the Yondaime. After reading Yondaime's letter, he had understood why the fourth chose him to be the vessel. Even though Naruto understood this, not many people understood that Naruto is still Naruto, and not the demon fox. Your rank is currently Tokubetsu Jounin, Sarutobi said as he turned around facing the young ANBU captain with a smile. Naruto meanwhile just nodded, a similar smile forming in his face. Quite an achievement, really, you even surpassed Itachi's record, Sarutobi said while casting a glance at the boy in front of him. Naruto's facial expression had turned rather cold. Sarutobi shook his head, knowing full well that Naruto didn't like being compared to the Uchiha murderer. After a few minutes his expression returned to its usual cheerful state, making Sarutobi sigh in relief. The tense air inside the room were giving him the chills. It's getting late, you better go before Ichiraku closes. You're dismissed, Naruto-kun, Sarutobi said as the boy gave him a salute before teleporting out of his office. He's growing quite well, old friend, if only you could see him now, Sarutobi thought as he looked at the Hokage monument one last time before retiring for the night. Later in Ichiraku, Naruto could be seen sitting in his usual seat wolfing down on a bowl of miso ramen. Beside him sat his good friend Yumino Irika, who was also eating the same food but at a slower pace. So Naruto, how was your mission? Irika asked while slurping on his ramen. Naruto meanwhile finished his second bowl of ramen before looking at Irika with a serious expression. Well, Irika-senpai, the mission was quite hard at first, but then I was able to eliminate the target, Naruto replied as he signaled for the chef to cook him another bowl of ramen. How about you? How's your classes going? Naruto asked in return, patiently waiting for his third bowl of ramen. Iruk then turned to him with a wide grin just as the chef placed Naruto's ramen in front of him. Tomorrow is the Genin final exam and a lot of students are quite promising this year, Irika said, while Naruto listened intently to what Irika was saying while continuing to devour his bowl of ramen. Uchiha Sasuke will be graduating this year along with your two friends Naruto Shikamaru and Akimichi Chuji, Irika said. A smile formed in Naruto's face as he nodded and fished out a few bills from his wallet and placed it on the counter. He then waved bye to Irika before walking towards his apartment. The next day Irika gazed happily at his newly graduated students, especially to the 3 students in front of him. Uchiha Sasuke, number 1 in his class. Next to him was a pink-haired girl who was staring at the raven-haired boy with admiration, Harino Sakura, second in class, and finally Sarutobi Konohamaru, the youngest in his class. Konohamaru had been accelerated because of a certain blonde Anbu captain who had beaten up Ebisu, Konohamaru's tutor. Konohamaru was a genius in his own right, always striving to be acknowledged, who was also somewhat like Naruto, striving for acknowledgement. Beside Iruka stood the other Chunin examiner, Mizuki, who was handing out the hitiates to the students after being graded. Mizuki smiled at the students after giving them their forehead protectors while saying enjoy good work. Iruka wasn't paying much attention to Mizuki's actions because the brown-haired Chunin was occupied with the next phase of the exam, the team selection and Jounin Sensei selection. He let out a short sigh as he gave the last of the hitiates to Mizuki. Iruka waited for the last of his students to leave the room before going to the Hokage's office to discuss about the team selection exam. It was already late in the afternoon, so there wasn't that many people waiting outside of the Sandaime's office. Iruka knocked on the door before entering the room. Inside he found the old man signing some documents and reading mission reports from the numerous missions that were completed for the day. Iruka-kun, good afternoon. I see you brought me this year's rookie genin roster, Sandaime said as he placed his pipe on the ashtray and took the folder from Iruka. Sandaime went through each one of the files while giving out the usual comments here and there. I see my grandson Konohamaru graduated as well. Too bad I wasn't able to come and greet him. Congratulations when he left the academy. Oh well, I will have to make it up to the boy, and maybe perhaps this time he won't use the jutsu that Naruto taught him. Iruka had a small smile on his face knowing the particular jutsu since he himself had fallen victim to the jutsu numerous times from Naruto and Konohamaru. Please sit, Iruka, so we may finish this as soon as possible and I can celebrate my grandson's graduation, Sandaime said, offering Iruka the chair in front of his desk, at which the academy instructor quickly obliged and sat down. Okay, let's start, Sarutobi said as he took out a new folder from his drawer marked New Genin Team Roster. Iruka quickly filled the Sandaime in on each of the students' individual abilities based on their academy grades. The two of them worked on the team assignments for 2 hours, often checking and rechecking the abilities and academic grades of the students. The two of them just finished finalizing the team assignments when someone barged into the Sandaime's office. Sandaime-sama, there is an emergency. Someone has stolen the scroll of sealing. Alarmed by the news, Sarutobi quickly went into action as he ordered to gather all available shinobi to find the thief. Iruka quickly left in order to search for the thief while Sandaime used his crystal ball to search for the culprit after dispatching the available A and BU squads that were on duty. Iruka quickly went to find Mizuki in order to ask for help in finding the culprit. He knocked on the silver-haired Chunin's door, but he soon found that the door was unlocked. Curious as to why Mizuki would leave him door open, Iruka entered the small apartment to check if the other instructor was asleep. When he reached Mizuki's room, he was shocked to find some rather troubling things. Schedules of the guards in the Hokage Tower and other documents that involved and placed on the wall was a blueprint of the Hokage's office along with the room of scrolls where the scroll of sealing was kept. Realization hit Iruka as he now knew the identity of the thief. Without wasting any more time, Iruka dashed out of the small apartment heading towards the forest. In the forest, Mizuki was leaning against a tree waiting for someone to arrive. Strapped to his back were 2 large shurikens. Where is he? Mizuki thought as he looked at his watch checking the time. Beside him was the scroll of sealing. He stared at it with satisfaction, a crooked smile forming in his face as he thought about the power that was inside the scroll. A movement from the bushes brought Mizuki back to reality. Finally! Mizuki thought as he picked up the scroll of sealing preparing to leave with the new arrival. What took you? Mizuki began, but he stopped in mid-sentence because the person that had appeared from the bushes wasn't who he expected. Iruka had found him. Mizuki silently cursed his luck as he returned Iruka's glare. Mizuki, why did you take the scroll of sealing? Iruka asked. He caught sight of the scroll beside the man but made no move to get it. Mizuki meanwhile now had a smirk on his face as he pulled out one of the large shurikens from its strap. I'm surprised that you found this place, Iruka. Not many know about this place. Why, you ask? Well, anything is possible with this scroll, Mizuki replied as the shuriken in his hand began to spin. With this scroll I will become powerful, even more powerful than that stupid old man of a Hokage. This village sickens me, it even let a monster into our ranks of ninja. Mizuki roared out as he threw the shuriken in Iruka's direction. Iruka quickly sidestepped to avoid the large shuriken, but he failed to see the kunais flying towards him. Pain coursed through Iruka's body as the kunai struck, one grazing him on the shoulder while another was completely buried on his left thigh. Iruka gritted his teeth as he pulled out the kunai on his thigh. Iruka threw the kunai at Mizuki, who easily dodged. Then Iruka picked up a log and ran back towards the village. What an idiot, Mizuki thought as he made a move to pick up the scroll. Mizuki clenched his hands into fist when he only felt a rough bark. That bastard, I'll kill him for pulling such a trick on me. Mizuki quickly dashed towards the direction Iruka ran. The log that Iruka had taken was now where the scroll used to be. Iruka ran like the hounds of hell were after him. He held onto the scroll tightly as he tried to increase his speed, but the numerous injuries he had sustained against Mizuki was taking its toll. I have to get the scroll back to the village. I can't let Mizuki get a hold of this scroll, Iruka thought as he leaped down from a branch and continued to run on the ground. It seems like Mizuki hates Naruto because of the 9 tails. Stupid prejudiced jackass, Iruka thought, anger clearly showing in his face as he remembered Mizuki's words about the Hokage and Naruto. Meanwhile, back at the tower, Sarutobi watched in interest as the chase went on. He shook his head when the thief's identity turned out to be Mizuki. Such a pity he is blinded by hate, Sarutobi thought as he focused some more on the scene before him. I hope the Anbu squad gets there soon. Mizuki's companion is already in hot pursuit on the two of them. Mizuki had finally caught up with Iruka, who had taken a short rest. He now had Iruka cornered against a tree. Nowhere to run, Iruka, Mizuki said as he pulled out the last of his shurikens from its strap. Too bad it had to end this way, Iruka. I would have offered you a chance to join me and avenge your parents. You could have been the one to kill that monster fox, Mizuki said, but the look on Iruka's face told him that the Chunin instructor would have no part in his plans. Die, Iruka! Mizuki yelled as he advanced towards the downed Chunin. Iruka stared straight into Mizuki's eyes before looking down in defeat. I guess this is the end, Iruka thought as he waited for Mizuki's final blow. Iruka waited for the pain to come, but it never came as he only heard the sound of Mizuki screaming in pain and metal falling to the ground with a thud. Iruka opened his eyes to see Mizuki clutching to a stump where his arm used to be. The arm holding onto the shuriken now lay on the ground, blood seeping from it staining the grass and dirt. Nanny? Iruka thought as he looked past the screaming Chunin. A smile formed in his face as he recognized his rescuer. Behind Mizuki stood a short Anbu cloaked in dirty white, the fox mask looking rather cold at the traitor. The short Anbu held a large sword in his hand while staring at the still screaming Mizuki. Mizuki glared at the Anbu while clutching his wound, trying to stop the bleeding. Damn you, Mizuki cursed as the Anbu just swung his sword onto his shoulder. A dust cloud and the wind that was circling around him was pushed back by the large chakra that the Anbu emitted. The Anbu then spoke. His familiar voice now made Iruka sure of his rescuer's identity. Don't lay a finger on Iruka-senpai, the Anbu said before removing his mask, revealing his visage to Mizuki. I'll kill you if you do, the Anbu said. His voice was now filled with anger and coldness. Mizuki just laughed and charged forward, attacking blindly. Why don't you try it, you bastard? Mizuki yelled as he quickly broke into a full run towards the Anbu captain. Meanwhile, Iruka watched with admiration at his rescuer. There's only Anbu who has that high amount of chakra, Iruka thought as the Anbu captain let out a battle cry, charging head-on to the attacking traitor. There's only one Anbu who has that height, Iruka thought, a smile forming in his face as the Anbu disappeared, by using Shunshin no Jutsu, from Mizuki's sight and reappear behind the traitor. There's definitely only one Anbu captain who has a sword that huge, Iruka thought as the Anbu began to deliver his final blow to Mizuki. Feel my wrath for having raised a hand on a comrade. The Anbu said as dealt the final blow on Mizuki by swinging the sword in a slashing manner, letting loose a large blade made out of chakra to slice Mizuki in half, killing him instantly. Iruka sighed in relief as the Anbu quickly eliminated Mizuki's body using a Katon Jutsu. After the body elimination was done, the Anbu captain then turned to Iruka. A wide grin could now be seen on the Anbu's face as he removed the hood on his head. The blonde boy in front of him gave Iruka a grin as he moved towards the injured man. You alright, Iruka-senpai? Sorry I'm late, I got lost trying to find you, the boy said while Iruka just chuckled at the boy's antics. Name, Uzumaki Naruto, age 12, village, Kanahigakure no Sato, rank, Tokubetsu Jounin / Anbu captain, mission index, D rank 50, C rank, 15, B rank, 27, A rank, 17, S rank, 1, abilities, ninjutsu, superior genjutsu, average taijutsu, genius. Additional info, human vessel of Kyubi no Yuku, protege of Sannin Jiraiya, graduated academy at age 5, promoted to Chunin at age 7, joined rank into Anbu at age 8 under the command of Marino Ibiki and Mitarashi Anko, became Anbu captain at age 11, codename, Konoha's death god. Back at the village, Sarutobi had a small smile on his face as he exited the building, finding most of the Jounins and Chunins in panic as they asked each other, Did you find the thief? One Chunin asked while the Anbu squads nearby didn't immediately stood at attention. Where's Captain Uzumaki? An Anbu cloaked in black asked, looking for the short captain. Everyone who knew the blonde looked around, noticing the lacking presence of their blonde comrade. Sarutobi stepped up, his hand holding onto his lit pipe. There's no need to worry. Naruto and Iruka has found the scroll of sealing and disposed of the traitor. Everyone relaxed at this bit of news, after which Sarutobi dismissed them as he went back to his office to await the arrival of the two. He watched from his crystal ball as Naruto supported Iruka as the two walked back to the village. Your son is living up to your expectations, my friend, Sarutobi thought as the images in the ball disappeared. It was 2 days after the incident. Most of the Nins in the village had forgotten about it while the others just shrugged it off. Iruka meanwhile was still working on the team assignments, leading the Jounin assignment to the Hokage since Sandaime had only requested a copy of the rookie genin roster. Sarutobi was currently in a meeting with the Jounin senseis for the new genins. Naruto, who was asked to come to the meeting, watched the Jounins and Sandaime go over the rookie genins. Today Naruto wasn't wearing his Anbu uniform save for his Anbu mask. Instead, Naruto wore the standard Tokubetsu Jounin uniform, only it was all in midnight black instead of the navy blue issued uniform. He watched through the slits on his mask, noticing a silver-haired Jounin not paying attention to the meeting. Instead, the Jounin read an autographed orange book. Shaking his head, Naruto made his way towards the silver-haired Jounin. Kakashi Nizen, stop reading Jiraiya's novel and pay attention. Sandaime-sama is calling your attention, Naruto said as he neared the person he called Big Brother. The older man looked down from his book upon hearing his name being called. He smiled at the blonde boy in front of him before looking back up to find a glaring Sarutobi. Kakashi raised a hand in apology while Naruto just snickered, earning him a backhand from Kakashi. Peering into the crystal ball, Kakashi and Naruto saw the image of Uchiha Sasuke sitting by the window while girls fought over the seat next to him. So that's him? This year's #1 rookie, Uchiha Sasuke? Asuma asked, looking at the direction of his father the Sandaime. Sarutobi just nodded while letting the rest of the Jounins stare at the happenings in the room. The survivor of the Uchiha clan within the village, Kurenai said as her red eyes looked on at the scene unfolding at the academy. Kakashi meanwhile looked past the image of the stoic Uchiha, where Konohamaru was glaring at the #1 in their class. Sarutobi Konohamaru, Kakashi thought as Naruto moved closer to see what Kakashi was looking at. He laughed when he saw Konohamaru climbing his desk and staring straight into Sasuke's eyes. The other Jounins and Sandaime watched in fascination as Konohamaru and Sasuke almost accidentally kissed in the lips. So that's the rookie of the year? Itachi's brother? Naruto asked after regaining his composure while the other Jounins looked on as the girls began to strangle Konohamaru. Ha ha ha, that Konohamaru, always the center of attention. I wouldn't want to be the goo to teach him, Naruto said as he went to the back as Sarutobi cleared his throat to begin the appointing of teams to the Jounins. Naruto began to tune out the meeting as he let his mind travel to the back of his mind. In Naruto's mind, the boy came face to face with a large locked door with a small keyhole and a doorknob. Naruto fished out an ordinary-looking form from his pocket and pushed it into the keyhole. He turned the key, hearing a soft click, then a seal appeared on the door. With a smile, Naruto placed a hand on the seal, which then slowly began to retreat to the edges of the door. Naruto then entered the great chamber to have a little chat with Kyuubi. Inside the great chamber, a huge gate could be seen as Naruto stepped up to the sealed gate. "Oi, Kyuubi! Wake your fuzzball ass up!" Naruto yelled as the great beast began to stir from its slumber. Naruto waited for the Kyuubi to fully awake, hearing growls and yawning sounds from inside the cage. "Wake up, Kyuubi!" Naruto yelled after a few minutes of the fox not even noticing your presence. "What is it that you want, brat?" Kyuubi replied, his crimson orbs staring back into Naruto's cerulean orbs. Kyuubi growled in anger when Naruto ignored him for a few minutes before replying to his question. Naruto took a seat on the cold floor while having a thoughtful look on his face. "Tell me again how my father defeated you," Naruto asked, earning him a furious growl from the great beast. Naruto snickered, knowing this would infuriate the fox. His visage quickly went from amusement to a serious one as he looked at Kyuubi again. "Well, I was wondering if there's any way for me to learn your jutsus and knowledge," Naruto said as he watched Kyuubi look up in surprise and waited for it to think about the idea. A rather good proposition. Maybe perhaps you'll finally show some respect," Kyuubi said as he thought of the idea and also leaving behind his own legacy. "I will think about your offer, boy, but if you truly want me to teach you, at least learn to call me by my name, and show some respect," Kyuubi roared as he used a small amount of his chakra to send Naruto back to reality. Back to reality, Naruto found himself being stared at by all the Jounins and the Hokage. Naruto raised an eyebrow, trying to understand why they were looking at him like that. Sarutobi, losing patience, chose to clue the boy in on what just transpired in the meeting. Naruto-kun, so good of you to join us here in the real world," Sarutobi said while trying to hold in his anger. Snickers from the other Jounins in the room could be heard. Naruto led us aside, then apologized for not paying attention. "Okay, now let me start with the team assignments," Sarutobi said as the Jounins immediately lined up to receive their new teams. Sarutobi began handing out the folders to each Jounin, giving them teams 1 to 6. When he reached Team 7's folder, a small smile formed in his wrinkled face as he called out the Jounin to lead the team. "Uzumaki Naruto, you will lead Team 7, Sarutobi announced." The Jounins around the room were in shock when they heard it. Naruto meanwhile had a different reaction. He looked up in surprise, then started yelling. "What do you mean I'm to lead a team of Genin? I'm an Anbu captain, old man, not some babysitter." Sarutobi's face quickly flared into anger after the old man comment. "I don't want to lead a team of Genin, let Kakashi Nizen do it," Naruto shouted out, crossing his arms in defiance. Sarutobi just inhaled some smoke from his pipe before Kakashi stepped up to explain why he was chosen. "Naruto, you need to lead a team who is younger or the same age as you, not older than you," Kakashi explained while Naruto tried to ignore Kakashi and Sarutobi's gaze. "Why do I have to do this anyways?" Naruto thought as he tried to find a way to get out of the situation. After a few minutes of thinking, Naruto let out a sigh in defeat. He looked at Kakashi, then to Sarutobi. "Who's going to take over my team?" Naruto asked, indicating the team of Anbu he lead. Sarutobi just pointed to the person beside him. Naruto turned to his side and found Kakashi. "Eh? Isn't Kakashi Nizen a Jounin already?" Naruto asked. Sarutobi meanwhile was rummaging through a closet behind his desk. Kakashi just gave a smile to Naruto. But I can't teach, I don't know what to teach them," Naruto protested again. Kakashi ignored Naruto's protest by reading his Ika Paradise. Sarutobi finally found what he was looking for and threw it to Naruto. Naruto caught the object easily, then started to inspect the object. "What's this, old man? You trying to bribe me?" Naruto asked while holding out the object that Sarutobi had thrown at him. A black Jounin vest just his size. Sarutobi let out a small laugh as he just sat back in his seat and continued to hand out the last of the team folders. You'll take a team, Sarutobi said casually. No way! Naruto shouted as he tried to control himself. Sarutobi repeated what he said, but Naruto tried to ignore him. Naruto growled as Sarutobi just gave him a small smile. Naruto just glared at Sarutobi, trying to persuade the old man from giving him a genin team. Naruto quickly stepped back, his hands performing a hand seal. Henge! Naruto called out as smoke rose up from the ground, quickly transforming him. Please, Hokage-sama, Naruto said in his female form, blowing a kiss at the old man. Sarutobi stiffened while the male jounins gasped in surprise when they saw what Naruto transformed into. Sarutobi and all the male jounins in the room immediately fell backwards after a huge torrent of blood shot out of their noses. All of the males in the room, including Kakashi of course, lay on the floor twitching while a trickle of blood flowed freely into the tiles. After a few minutes of which Naruto tried to control himself from laughing out loud, Sarutobi and the other men came to, using their handkerchiefs to wipe the blood from their noses. Oroike no jutsu, what a devastating technique you have, Sarutobi said, earning him glares from the other men in the room and a painful pinch from Kurenai. Anyways, Naruto, you will take on a team whether you like it or not. Your rank is now Rookie Jounin. Your team, Naruto, will consist of Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura and my grandson, Sarutobi said while the newly promoted Rookie Jounin just let out a defeated sigh. I'm putting my trust in you to train Konohamaru well, Sarutobi said as he blew out some smoke. Naruto raised his hand to protest, but Sarutobi just silenced him with a hand. I know this is difficult for you since you never communicated with children your age except for Shikamaru and Chuji. Think of it as a chance to make some new friends, Sarutobi said while Naruto just nodded, knowing full well that there was no changing the old man's mind. Good, now that you accepted. All of you will be meeting your new teams later in the afternoon, so I suggest to take this time to read the folders and plan a final test for your teams, Sarutobi said as he waved them off, dismissing them. Oh, and Naruto, good luck and congratulations, Sarutobi said to the retreating back of Naruto. Naruto raised his hand in acknowledgement to what the Hokage said. Naruto finally caught up with Kakashi, who was currently on his way towards the Anbu HQ to meet Naruto's old team and deliver the news of their new captain. Why, Kakashi, knees and wait up! Naruto called out to the son of the White Fang. Kakashi, upon hearing Naruto's voice, stopped and turned to the source. He raised an eyebrow, inquiring what Naruto wanted. Any, Kakashi Nizen. Can you at least help me train with my new team? Maybe train the Uchiha or something. I can handle Konohamaru and you're this Haruno girl, but I don't know jack shit about the Sharingan except countering it. Okay, fine, I'll help you, but only as an advisor. I won't be there all the time. Kakashi replied, placing his hand on Naruto's head and ruffling up the boy's natural spiky hair. Naruto just nodded as he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Kakashi ran his hand through his hair that defied gravity and continued on to the building. Naruto meanwhile was heading towards Ichiraku for a quick lunch, seeing as he only had an hour to go before meeting with Team 7. On his way there he passed by a dango stand where a purple-haired female Tokubetsu Jounin was ordering some dango. The purple-haired female, catching sight of the blonde Jounin, waved her hand motioning for Naruto to join her. Konnichiwa and konnichin, Naruto greeted as he came closer to his former commander. Hey Naruto-kun, care to join me for some dango? Anko asked, offering Naruto one of her dango pieces. Naruto waved his hand indicating he didn't want to impose. Anko just shrugged it off, continuing to eat her meal with satisfaction. Anko, finally noticing the different vest that Naruto wore, raised an eyebrow. Did old man Sarutobi kick you out of the Anbu force? Anko asked, while giving Naruto the once-over with her eyes, making the boy fidget under her scrutiny. The old man said, I'm better off training genins my age rather than leading a team of subordinates twice my age, Naruto replied as he looked up at the sky, checking the time. He also wants me to train Itachi's little brother, and his grandson Konohamaru. Naruto replied while Anko tried not to laugh at the boy's situation. You mean you're teaching this year's #1 rookie and the third's grandson? Anko asked in surprise since she knew of the boy's reputation as a heartthrob around the academy, and also the other female population. Naruto just nodded in annoyance. He was clearly not happy about being removed from the Anbu force. Oh well, at least you get to keep your mask and that huge sword of yours, Anko said, pointing to the dangling Anbu mask strapped to Naruto's belt. Naruto just grinned as he pulled out the large blade. Yeah, too bad though, Zanpakuto Soul Slayer will miss separating a target soul from its body, Naruto said, giving Anko a wide grin, which Anko returned with an even wider grin. Naruto quickly sheathed his sword as he turned to leave for his lunch. See you around, Anko-nichin, and enjoy your blood baths, Naruto called back as he disappeared inside of Ichiraku. Anko just chuckled lightly at the small joke that the boy just said. I'm gonna miss your energetic ways, kid, Anko thought as she paid for her meal and left. At the academy, most of the newly graduated genins were waiting in anticipation for the three-man team assignment. Most of the kunoichi were arguing on who would be in Sasuke's team. Such kunoichi were Haruno Sakura and Yamanaka Ino, rivals and former best friends, were sitting in a corner arguing on who had the best chance of being paired up with the Uchiha survivor. Konohamaru meanwhile wasn't paying attention to the ruckus in the room. His attention was on the shugi board in front of him. His opponent was none other than the laziest person in their class, Nara Shikamaru. Sitting beside Shikamaru was a Kimichi Chuji who had a bag of potato chips in his hand. Shikamaru and Konohamaru often played Shugi even during their free time, with Shikamaru as the victor in each match. Konohamaru didn't really like playing the game, but his uncle Asuma and Naruto told him it would improve his skills as a shinobi. So Shikamaru Nizan, who do you think would be in the three-man teams? Konohamaru asked as he moved a piece, then taking one of Shika's pieces. Shika looked up from the board. He thought for a moment before answering Konohamaru's question. I don't have any idea, probably based on our grades in the academy. I don't really care, it's too troublesome, Shikamaru replied, his voice now sounding bored as he moved a piece on the board, then said, checkmate, game over. Chuji opened another bag of chips just as Irika entered the room holding onto a piece of paper. Starting today you are no longer students. You are now real shinobis and kunoichis, but you are still merely rookie genin. The hard part has just started, Irika said as he looked at the genins in front of him. Yeah, but only 9 of you will be real genins, Irika thought as he began to announce the 3-man teams. Now I will divide you into the 3-man teams and assign a Jounin sensei to complete missions with. Irika announced, all attention immediately going to him. The teams were then announced, balancing each team's strength. Irika announced the teams from the 1st up to the 6th. Most of the kunoichi genins were waiting anxiously who would be with Uchiha Sasuke. Now for Team 7. Uchiha Sasuke, Irika announced, feeling every kunoichi in the room tense up upon hearing the number 1 rookie's name being called. Haruno Sakura. This of course caused Sakura to rise from her seat and yell out in triumph. Irika had a sweat dropped on his head when he saw Sakura's reaction. Irika cleared his throat to gain back his former students' reactions. And Sarutobi Konohamaru, everyone gasped when they heard this. Konohamaru meanwhile immediately rose from his seat and began protesting. Irika-sensei, why does an outstanding ninja like me have to be on the same team as that bum? His finger pointing to Sasuke, then he cottoned and to the ugly flat chest. This earned him a punch from Sakura while Sasuke just ignored Konohamaru's words. Sasuke is this year's number 1 rookie and Sakura is the top kunoichi in the class, Irika said as he looked up to where Konohamaru was standing. Konohamaru, your grades in the academics were only average and you barely passed the physical exam. Your physical exams pulled you down to dead last, Irika said. Everyone in class laughed. Irika once again cleared his throat as the class went into silence again, silent enough to hear Sasuke say, just don't get in my way, Dobes, Sasuke said while Konohamaru just ignored Sasuke's words and went back to his chest. Sakura meanwhile praised Sasuke for being the number 1 rookie, but all she got was. Sasuke looked at her then said, don't get in my way as well. Flat chest. Sakura was in the brink of tears. Irika just shook his head as he resumed announcing the teams. When the final team was announced, Irika opened the door to let the Jounin senseis enter the room to collect their students. The Jounins though didn't use the door, instead they teleported right in the middle of the room, earning them surprised gasps from the genins. Each of the Jounins stepped forward when their names were called out to fetch their teams. The Jounins then immediately collected their teams and left. It was until Team 7 Sensei was called that everyone was shocked. Team 7 Sensei Irika started to announce. When he looked at the name he almost fainted in shock. Uzumaki Naruto. Irika had a shocked look on his face while thinking, Nani? What the hell is Sandaime-sama thinking? The members of Team 7 looked up in front trying to find their sensei among the Jounins assembled. But no Jounin were answering to the name. A crash from outside the classroom caused everyone to look at the door as it began to open. As the door opened, a masked Jounin stumbled into the room, breathing rather hard. Sorry I'm late. I had to help an old woman to cross the street. The Jounin said his apologies as he stood up, while everyone stared at him in wonder. Shikamaru and Shuji had huge grins on their faces when they saw their friend enter the room. They were sad in thought because Naruto wasn't their sensei. What the hell? That's our Jounin sensei? A midget? Sakura thought as she watched the Jounin dust himself off. She then noticed the way the other Jounins were standing at attention, not like before where they were relaxing. She also noticed the big sword strapped to Naruto's back, her eyes going wide in shock. Wow, that's a huge sword. Every genin in the room was staring at the short Jounin and the huge sword that he was carrying. It's alright, Captain Uzumaki. You're not that late, a Jounin replied when the short Jounin set his gaze around the room. Naruto just nodded in reply as he then had a little talk with Irika. Most of the Jounins present except for Asuma and Kurenai had undergone Anbu training. They knew of Naruto's reputation as well as his status as the vessel of the Nine Tails. Naruto, what the hell is going on? I thought you were in charge of an Anbu squad, Irika said, his voice filled with annoyance while Naruto just shrugged and told him the reason why he was pulled out of Anbu duty then promoted to the rank of Jounin. Irika grudgingly accepted the Hokage's reason then turned to the class. Alright Team 7, follow your sensei, Irika said as the 3 members rose from their seats and began to follow Naruto out of the door. Irika then announced the rest of the Jounin senseis to the other teams. Team 8 Jounin sensei Yohi Kurenai. Team 8 composed of Hyuga Hinata, Inuzuka Kiba and Aburame Shino immediately stepped forward, following Kurenai out the door. Team 9 Jounin sensei Saragaki Tsujimi. Team 9 immediately followed the cross-eyed looking Jounin. Team 10 Jounin sensei Sarutobi Asuma. Shikamaru grumbled as he got up and lazily walked out the door followed by Chuji, and a still in disbelief Ino. At the Hokage monument Team 7 could be seen sitting on the floor. Naruto carefully observed his new team, sizing them up by the size of their chakra capacity. HHMM the Uchiha has a large amount good potential too. The Haruno girl has just enough to perform basic techniques, and HHM Konohamaru's chakra capacity is slightly higher than the girl, Naruto thought while watching his team through his Anbu mask. Naruto had decided to wear his mask to hide the marks on his face. Well, let's start with some introductions. Introductions? Sakura asked while she shifted to her right, looking at Naruto. What should we say, sensei? She asked. Naruto meanwhile held out his hand and began to speak again. How about your likes and dislikes dream for the futures, but before that, you can call me Naruto-senpai, not sensei, since I'm just the same age as you. Naruto replied. This earned him shocked looks from the two top students, while Konohamaru already knew who it was under the mask. Except you're going to call me sensei since I'm older than you and your teammates Nizan and Neichan, Naruto said, pointing his finger to Konohamaru. Okay, but why don't you introduce yourself first, Sasuke said, clearly wanting to know about the Jounin assigned to lead Team 7. Naruto placed a hand on his chin in a thoughtful manner. Me? My name is Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto started, the three members of Team 7 listening intently to Naruto's introduction. I have no desire to tell you about my likes. My dislikes are people who give up and those who say there is always a shortcut to gaining strength. Naruto continued, which made Konohamaru and Sakura have confused looks on their faces. Naruto then turned around facing the stone faces of the Hokage as he said his dream. My dreams for the future is become Hokage and surpass the previous Hokages so that Konohagakure no Sato will recognize my existence. The three of them now had looks of admiration to what Naruto just said. Sakura meanwhile huddled closer to Sasuke and Konohamaru. So all we learned was his name, his dislikes and dreams, Sakura said in a whisper, both boys replying by nodding their heads. Okay, your turn, Naruto said, pointing to Konohamaru, as he crossed his arms leaning against the railing as he once again faced the three genins. My name is Sarutobi Konohamaru, Konohamaru said as he pointed to himself. I like to train and pull pranks on Sarutobi Ojaizen and techniques that Ojaizen teaches me. My dislikes are people who don't see me as me but as the Hokage's grandson, he said. His voice had a hint of anger when he said the last part. My dreams for the future is to become Hokage, and have everyone call me by my real name. My hobbies are challenging my rival for the Hokage name. Naruto smiled in his mask. Well, that's interesting, Naruto thought as he pointed to Sakura. My name is Haruno Sakura, Sakura said cheerfully as she gave a small smile. My likes are the person that I like is, Sakura said as she looked at Sasuke with dreamy eyes. My hobbies are, she once again looked at Sasuke, then turning away before saying, my dreams for the future is. She looked at Sasuke one last time before burying her face between her knees. Fits of giggles could be heard. And? Your dislikes? Naruto asked, his voice beginning to be annoyed by the information he was getting from the girl. I dislike Konohamaru, Sakura replied flatly, glaring dagger at Konohamaru as she said it. Konohamaru meanwhile stood up, shaking his fist at the pink-haired Kunoichi. You want to make something out of it, flat chest? Konohamaru roared, infuriating the Kunoichi as Naruto just coughed, making the two of them turn their attention back to Naruto. Great, I got a love-struck girl. Che, why are girls more interested in love than training? Oh well, more fun for me, Naruto thought as he spoke to reprimand Konohamaru the only way he knew how. My Konohamaru, I didn't know you were a pervert like your grandpa, Naruto said, immediately shutting up Konohamaru and making the boy return to his seat. And the last one? Naruto said, pointing to Sasuke. Sasuke had his hands up to his chin as if he was deep in thought. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. The Uchiha survivor started while gazing on the floor. There are tons of things that I dislike. And I don't really like anything. Naruto just listened intently to Sasuke's introduction. His introduction by far seemed to be the most interesting. I don't like to use the word dream, more like ambition. The resurrection of my clan and to kill a certain man, Sasuke said, his eyes blazing in fury at the very thought of Itachi. Konohamaru had moved away from Sasuke, looking at the stoic Uchiha like he had lightning bolts coming out of his ass. He better not mean me, Konohamaru thought while Sakura had hearts in her eyes, staring at Sasuke with admiration. Sasuke-kun is so cool. Naruto meanwhile wasn't too impressed with the last part. As I thought, well, this is great. I have a team consisting of a love-struck Kunoichi, a Avenger, and the Hokage's grandson. Okay, you guys are all interesting, Naruto said while fixing his mask. We'll start our missions tomorrow. This of course immediately made Konohamaru salute excitedly, and ask what kind of mission. Naruto crossed his arms again as he looked at Team 7. First, we are going to do something with just the four of us. Tomorrow's mission is survival training. Survival training? Why is that our mission? Sakura asked curiously. We did enough training in the academy, she continued, which Konohamaru nodded to affirm what Sakura just said. Naruto now had a sadistic grin on his face, but it was unseen because of his mask. This isn't like normal training, Naruto replied. Then what kind is it? Konohamaru asked. At this statement Naruto began to chuckle lightly, then it grew to a full-blown laugh which made Team 7 raise an eyebrow as to why Naruto was laughing. Hey, what's so funny, senpai? Sakura asked, clearly not liking the way Naruto was laughing. The blonde Jounin continued to laugh before replying to Sakura's question. No, well, it's just that when you guys hear this, you're definitely gonna flip, Naruto said, earning him confused looks from Team 7. Naruto then leaned closer as he explained what he meant. Out of the 27 graduates, only 9 will be chosen as genin. The rest will be sent back to the academy, so this training is the real genin exam with a high failure rate of 66. Naruto watched in amusement at Team 7's reaction. Hey, I told you you'd flip, Naruto said, giving them a foxy grin. Alt hot noon could see it. Well, anyways, tomorrow I'll be grading you on the field. Bring your shinobi equipment, and meet at 5 a.m. Naruto said before dismissing the still in shock Team 7. Sasuke sat there slouching and unclenching his fist, while Konohamaru was shaking. Sakura meanwhile was visibly trying hard not to cry. Naruto turned his head before disappearing. Oh, and prepare yourselves. Your attitudes need adjustment. The next day at exactly 5 a.m. Team 7 assembled at Training Field 7. Sakura greeted Sasuke with a sleepy good morning while Konohamaru just stopped in the middle and tried to stay awake. Sasuke meanwhile didn't show any signs of discomfort from waking up early. After 3 hours of waiting, Naruto finally arrived clothed in full Jounin uniform. With Zanpakuh strapped to his back while numerous pouches were around his belt. Hey guys, Ohio, Naruto greeted casually, raising a hand in greeting. You're late. Sakura and Konohamaru shouted together, pointing an accusing finger at Naruto. Sorry, someone stole my alarm clock, so I had to wait for the store to open and buy a new one, Naruto replied, saying his apologies at which none of his subordinates were listening to. Well, at least my excuse was slightly true, unlike Kakashi Nizan and his lame excuses, Naruto thought, knowing full well what happened to his alarm clock, which was now in pieces. Far away in the Anbu HQ, a certain captain with a dog mask sneezed. Someone must be thinking about me, Kakashi thought before resuming the paperwork on his desk. Naruto then walked over to a tree stump and placed his newly bought alarm clock on top of it. Okay, this is set till 11 a.m., Naruto said as he pulled out 2 small bells from his pockets and showing it to the 3. Your task for today is to take these 2 bells from me before noon, Naruto said while ringing the bells once. If you can't get a bell before 11, I'll tie you up on the 3 stump, then I'll make eat your lunch in front of you. Hold on, there are only 2 bells, Sakura pointed out. Naruto smiled at this, although it was hidden by his mask. Because there are only 2 bells, one of you will definitely be tied to the post, and that person fails. That person will also be sent back to the academy, Naruto said casually before continuing. It might be one or all 3 of you sent back to the academy. You can even use your shurikens. You won't be able to get it if you don't come at me with killer intent, Naruto said while still holding on to the bells. At this, Sakura protested. But you'll be in danger, Naruto-senpai, Sakura said while Konohamaru just snickered. Yeah, you're also short, Konohamaru said, laughing rather hard at his joke. Naruto meanwhile now turned serious as he replied to what Konohamaru said. In the real world it's often the ones with least talent who are all talk and no action. Naruto replied, so let's ignore the brat, Mr. Dobe. Naruto then shifted slightly as he raised his hand to signal for the test to start. Konohamaru meanwhile feeling insulted by the brat and Dobe comment growled in anger as he pulled out a kunai from his holster and charged towards Naruto. Sasuke and Sakura watched in alarm as Konohamaru charged blindly towards Naruto. A mere second later Konohamaru felt his own kunai being directed at the back of his head, his arm twisted around by a strong grip. Sakura had a shocked look on her face. No way. I didn't even see him move, she thought, while Sasuke just watched all the while thinking. So this is a Jounin. If I defeat him I'll be one step closer to killing Itachi. Slow down, I didn't even say start yet, Naruto said as he let go of Konohamaru's arm and pushed the boy towards Sakura. Well, now that your killer intent has been charged up, I guess it's time to start. With a small chuckle he said, finally some fun, well start. Naruto yelled out the last part as the 3 genins immediately disappeared from his sight. The basics of being a ninja are erasing your presence and hiding yourself, Naruto thought as he felt suppressed chakra signatures that belonged to the members of Team 7. He scanned the area, pinpointing each direction where the 3 were hiding. Good, they're concealed well, Naruto thought when he suddenly saw a smirking Konohamaru standing not far from him. Come and fight me, Naruto Nizan, fight me, rival, Konohamaru yelled as he grinned proudly at Naruto. Naruto raised an eyebrow at Sandame's grandson. He coughed as he regained him composure and shrugged. Oh well, at least I'll be able to have some fun, he thought. You're a bit off, but okay, I'll fight you, Naruto said while Konohamaru replied. The only thing a bit off is your height. After saying that, Konohamaru charged forward. Naruto slipped his hand on a pouch behind him. Konohamaru immediately slowed down after seeing Naruto's hand slowly disappear inside the pouch. Ninja fighting lesson number 1, Naruto said as he felt the object he was looking for. I'll teach you about taijutsu, Naruto said as he pulled out the object. Naruto now held a small Walkman. Putting on the earphones, he switched the device on, instantly filling his ears with music. What's wrong? Hurry and come at me. Konohamaru hesitated while stuttering, but hey, why are you listening to music? Naruto raised an eyebrow then replied. Because I want to listen to music. It wouldn't matter with you guys anyways, Naruto said as Konohamaru now truly provoked charged forward, yelling out a battle cry. Konohamaru swung his fist at Naruto's head, but the young Jounin caught his fist easily. Konohamaru quickly dropped to the ground and leaped up, sending a roundhouse kick to Naruto. Naruto quickly ducked down, evading the kick while listening to the music, not even paying attention to Konohamaru's attacks. Konohamaru quickly threw a punch at Naruto's head, but his fist went right through air. Konohamaru had a puzzled look on his face, trying to find where Naruto was. A shinobi is an easily provoked brat, and a shinobi doesn't get caught from behind over and over. Idiot! A voice from behind him made Konohamaru stiffen in fear. From their perches, Sakura and Sasuke had confused looks on their faces. That seal? Tiger seal? Ninjutsu, Sakura thought as she tried to think up of why Naruto would use a ninjutsu. Sasuke meanwhile was quite interested in the fight. A Katon jutsu at close range? That bastard isn't just playing around. Sakura meanwhile, fearing for the safety of the Sandame's grandson, yelled out. Konohamaru, get out of there. You'll get killed. Too late. Naruto said as he watched Konohamaru turn his head in fear. Hidden Leaf Ancient Taijutsu Supreme Technique, Naruto yelled out while Sakura and Sasuke flinched at the devastating name of the technique. 1,000 years of pain, Naruto roared out as he impaled Konohamaru's behind with his hand, sending the boy flying into the air, holding onto his ass in pain. Sakura and Sasuke had sweat drops on their heads after watching what Naruto did to Konohamaru. Is all that you got, Konohamaru? Come on, I know Sarutobi Ojizen taught you some things better than this, Naruto said as he waited for the Hokage's grandson to get up and fight. This isn't how my rival should be. Perhaps I'll go find another rival. He started walking away towards the opposite direction. Konohamaru gritted his teeth as he forced his body to stand up. I am your rival, Konohamaru yelled as his hands quickly moved into a hand seal. Naruto turned around facing Konohamaru, a small smile on his face. Oh? Kagebunshin? Naruto thought, his cerulean orbs observing Konohamaru, and the 5 clones charged towards him. You're careless, Naruto-sensei. I'll show you a technique my grandpa taught me, Kagebunshin no Jutsu. Naruto had a smile on his face as he too performed the same hand seal as Konohamaru. Sakura meanwhile watched in awe as Konohamaru multiplied into 6. 6 Konohamarus? She thought as she watched as the Hokage's grandson and his clones charged forward armed with kunais at Naruto. What? Those aren't just illusions, they're all real. Naruto meanwhile just shifted to his right as the first clone threw a punch at him, his hand guiding Konohamaru's fist to the ground while his foot swept the clone off its feet. Naruto suddenly felt someone latch onto his back, catching him off guard. Nani? He looked back, seeing a smirking Konohamaru. I got you, Naruto-sensei. You can't beat me and my clones. My ass is still hurting. Sasuke and Sakura watched in amazement as the real Konohamaru leaped into the air and punched Naruto in the face. The brat did it, Sasuke thought when just as Naruto stumbled backwards he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Nani? A clone? Sasuke thought while Konohamaru looked around confused as to where Naruto had gone. The Jounin used the same jutsu as Konohamaru, then switched with it just as Konohamaru caught him, Sasuke thought as he watched the boy move to pick up a shiny object on the ground. Ha ha, idiot must have been so busy with my clones. He dropped the bell, Konohamaru yelled as he bent down to pick up the bell. Something suddenly wrapped around his ankle and yanked him up on the tree. What the hell? Konohamaru yelled as he dangled up from the tree. Sheesh, the brat fell for an obvious trap, Sasuke thought, keenly observing Naruto jump down from the tree and pick up the bell. But that Jounin, even playing around with Konohamaru as no openings. Konohamaru. Haven't you learned anything yet? Naruto asked while Konohamaru just yelled obscene ties at him. He ignored the boy's protest. He raised his hand to shut Konohamaru up before starting his lecture. Don't fall for obvious traps, idiot, Naruto said, looking straight at the struggling Konohamaru. A shinobi should be able to look underneath. Naruto raised his hand again to quiet down Konohamaru. And don't say you know it because you don't. Sasuke meanwhile finally saw an opening to attack Naruto. With a knowing smirk he threw his kunais and shurikens at Naruto, watching the projectiles slice through the air towards the blonde Jounin. Sakura and Konohamaru had shocked looks on their faces as Naruto fell sideways from the force of Sasuke's projectiles. Sasuke, that's too much, you bastard. Sasuke meanwhile growled in frustration as Naruto disappeared, leaving behind a log in his place. Kyuso. He used Kawarimi to dodge, and thus made me give away my position, Sasuke thought as he moved farther backwards to try his luck in getting a bell. Sakura meanwhile had already left her position to find Sasuke. Naruto meanwhile was getting bored already. He had already watched Konohamaru fall into the same trap twice and was waiting for his other 2 subordinates to come and attack him. Okay, I'll go test their individual skills then, Naruto thought as he dashed towards the forest where he sensed Sasuke's chakra signature. On his way to test Sasuke, Naruto saw Sakura walking around yelling out Sasuke's name. Naruto shook his head as he quickly snuck up behind Sakura. His chakra signature suppressed to a point Sakura didn't even know what hit tapped Sakura from behind, channeling chakra as he started the jutsu. Megan, Narukami no Jutsu, Demonic Illusion, Vision of Hell. With a small smile Naruto went on to search for his final target. Sakura groggily shook herself, feeling a bit off. Nani? What the hell happened? Shinaro, what the FCK happened? Where's Sasuke Kun? Sakura looked around, noticing for the first time her surroundings. She turned around, hearing a rustling from behind her. She pulled out 2 kunais from her holster. A familiar voice called out to her. Her face lit in happiness as she said the person's name. Sasuke-kun. Sakura ran towards Sasuke when Sasuke suddenly uttered the words that she hated the most. Sakura, you're so annoying, die. With that Sasuke lunged at Sakura, the kunai in his hand moving towards her neck. Sakura screamed in terror as she fainted, dropping to the ground like a sack of potatoes. Naruto meanwhile sighed. I guess I went too far, he thought as he neared Sasuke's location. Sasuke meanwhile heard Sakura's scream, Alarmed, he quickly got his guard up, sensing Naruto's presence near him. Shinobi Lesson Number 2, Genjutsu. Sakura fell for it easily, a voice behind him said, accompanied by the ringing of 2 bells. Sasuke just stood there, his back turned to Naruto. Naruto leaned against the tree, music blaring from his Walkman while looking at the sky. I'm not like them, Sasuke said as he faced Naruto, weapons held in his hands. Naruto had a smile behind his mask as he observed Sasuke's stance. This should be interesting, Naruto thought as Sasuke crouched down and let loose a fury of shurikens and kunais. Naruto quickly moved to the side, dodging the projectiles. He then turned his head to see that the projectile's target wasn't him but the trigger for the trap. Very clever, I see now why he is this year's #1 rookie. But I was a #1 rookie too, Naruto thought as he used some acrobatics to dodge the knives that were released from Sasuke's traps. Sasuke then charged forward to engage Naruto in a taijutsu match. Sasuke leaped into the air as he sent his right foot towards Naruto's face. The blonde Jounin then blocked the kick with his left arm as Sasuke brought his fist towards his face again while he was occupied. Naruto easily caught Sasuke's fist, now having both hands occupied. Sasuke then smirked as he sent his left foot upward to land a blow to Naruto's head. Alarmed by Sasuke's plan, Naruto then brings his arms up, blocking Sasuke's kick. He then comes face to face with Sasuke's smirking face when he sees that the Uchiha still had a free hand which was not moving towards one of the bells. Naruto smirks as he quickly lets go of Sasuke's foot, then places his hand directly in front of the Uchiha's face. Just as Sasuke touches one of the bells, Naruto uses his finger to send Sasuke flying backwards. A thud could be heard as Sasuke lands on his feet, while nursing his forehead where Naruto used a finger flick to send Sasuke back. Well, I'd say your taijutsu is good, Naruto said as he held onto his right hand. Sasuke meanwhile finally got up and started going through a sequence of hand seals. Naruto meanwhile, recognizing the hand seals, followed Sasuke's example, catching up to the Uchiha just as both got to the tiger seal. 2 large fireballs met in mid-air as 2 voices shouted out the technique. Katon, Gakaku no Jutsu. Elsewhere, Sakura finally woke up, her head having a short headache. She then remembered what happened earlier. Sasuke-kun tried to kill me but I'm still alive, she thought as she got up and went to try and find the Uchiha, her mind still under the influence of the Genjutsu. Konohamaru meanwhile had finally gotten loose from 25 of the same traps that he fell to earlier. He had a gleeful look on his face as he spotted the lunches that Naruto had brought for them. I'll eat my share and Sakura's share, Konohamaru said as he began to trek towards the large stone behind the tree stumps. Back to Sasuke and Naruto. When the flames ebbed, Sasuke found himself alone while the area around them scorched from the intense heat that occurred when the 2 large fireballs met. Damn, he's gone. Sasuke scanned the area looking for Naruto, but he didn't find the blonde Jounin. Naruto then appears right in front of Sasuke. The Anbu mask seemed more menacing up close. Kanashibari no Jutsu. Sasuke found himself unable to move, his body numb and refusing to move. What the hell did you do to me? You bastard! Sasuke yelled out his frustration as he strained his muscles, urging them to move. Lesson number 3, Ninjutsu, Naruto said as he started walking away, feeling the lunches that he brought for Team 7 was in danger. Sasuke meanwhile was still trying to move, his wrists and ankles starting to ache from being forced to work. Damn it, even if he's my age there's still a very large difference in skill and strength. He even threw me off with just a flick of his fingers, Sasuke thought when he noticed a pink-haired kunoichi moving towards her. From the look on Sakura's face, she was pissed. Sasuke tried to think of what would have made her so angry. He was about to ask what was wrong but then Sakura came face to face with him, and began to yell. There you are, Sasuke-kun! Sakura screeched as she neared the unmoving Uchiha. What's wrong, Sasuke-kun? Sakura asked when she remembered what Sasuke tried to do to her earlier. Sasuke-kun, as much as I love you, this is revenge for trying to kill me earlier. Sakura yelled, while Sasuke had a confused look on his face. What the FCK is she talking? Sasuke thought, but his thoughts were halted when Sakura suddenly drew her foot back and rammed it into his family jewels. Sasuke's eyes went wide in shock as pain coursed through his body. On instinct, Sasuke fell to the ground, his hands immediately going to his crotch, holding it in pain. Too much in pain, Sasuke failed to notice that the pain had caused him to be released from Naruto's jutsu. Sakura then started walking away, to try and let her anger for Sasuke pass by. Meanwhile, back to Konohamaru, who was tied up in the tree stump. Naruto sat on the tree stump next to where Konohamaru was tied up. He looked at his alarm clock, seeing as it was nearing 11 a.m. He sighed as he quickly jumped off the stump and raced into the forest to collect his 2 other subordinates. Time for the real fun to start, gonna be fun breaking these 2 down. Naruto raced into the forest, easily collecting the still in pain Uchiha. What the hell happened to him? Naruto thought as he tied up Sasuke with some wire, then began to look for the female member of Team 7. He soon found Sakura watching the tree stump where Konohamaru was tied up. She was so engrossed at looking for Naruto that she failed to notice Naruto sitting beside her. Boo, Naruto said suddenly, making Sakura jump up in fright. Without wasting time, Naruto dragged the other 2 to the tree stump and placed them against the stumps. Just as Sakura touched the wound, the alarm went off, signaling the end of the test. Naruto sat in front of the tree waiting for the 2 unconscious members of Team 7 to awaken. He just looked at them, analyzing and evaluating their abilities from what he had observed earlier. After a few minutes, Sasuke and Sakura began to stir. At first they looked around, soon finding themselves at a watchful gaze of Naruto. Good, you're awake now. Before you guys eat your lunches, I'm going to give you your evaluation. The three new graduates immediately perked up after hearing those words. Well, there's no need for you guys to go back to the academy, Naruto said, causing Konohamaru and Sakura to shout in happiness. Sasuke chose not to reply since the pain in his groin was still starting to ebb. Huh, all I did was faint and kick Sasuke-kun in the groin, Sakura thought, after which she looked at Sasuke in an apologetic way. Then all three of us, Konohamaru said excitedly, but Naruto finished his sentence for him. Yup, all three of you, Naruto said. His voice turned cold as he said the next words should quit as ninjas. This earned him shocked looks from the three members of Team 7. Konohamaru quickly started protesting. Quit as ninjas? What does that mean? Konohamaru asked, his voice echoing loudly around the training ground, the shock still evident in his voice. Okay, so we couldn't get the bells, but why do we have to quit as ninjas? Konohamaru asked again, this time Sakura nodding her support to their youngest member. Naruto meanwhile had taken off his Anbu mask, showing his visage to Team 7 for the first time. Naruto then pulled out his own hideite and tied it around his forehead. Because all of you are just punks who don't deserve to be ninjas, Naruto said, his voice still in a cold tone as his cerulean orb stared directly into the three of them. Sasuke, not being able to take it anymore, charged forward, a kunai dangerously held in his hand, at Naruto. His two teammates were shocked by Sasuke's actions, but they were even more shocked when Naruto reacted. Sasuke only saw a flash of yellow light as he felt his kunai now being pressed behind his back and the cold blade of a sword being pressed against his throat. This is why you're a punk, Naruto said so coldly. He then removed Zanpaku's blade from Sasuke's throat, then pushed the Uchiha to the ground. Sasuke soon felt wires once again being tied around his wrists and ankles. All the while Naruto ignored Sakura's protest while enjoying their looks of terror. He then looked up, his cerulean orbs now having only anger, staring straight at Sakura. Shut up, Haruno, I've had enough of your yammering, Naruto said coldly to Sakura, who immediately stopped talking. Are you three underestimating ninjas? Naruto asked, getting only shakes from the two in front of him. Sasuke, you're supposed to be this year's #1 rookie. That's right, Sasuke-kun is great. He's the #1 rookie of the year. Sakura interjected, her voice filled with pride for the Uchiha. Naruto stared at Sakura coldly before retorting. And I suppose enemy ninjas will drop dead on the ground after hearing that? I will tell you this now, being rookie of the year or dead last doesn't matter in the real world, so get that through your thick skulls, Naruto replied as he began to ask question. So tell me, Sakura, why is your hideite being hidden by your hair? Naruto asked. Sakura just mumbled her answer, but Naruto continued. The Konoha hideite is a symbol of your growing up to be an adult. Always wear it proudly. I also noticed from your introduction yesterday that you are more infatuated with your fellow idiot rather than taking your job as a kunoichi seriously, Naruto said. Sakura meanwhile was looking down at the ground in the brink of tears. Get rid of this infatuation, and take your job as a Konoha kunoichi, or I'll have you expelled from the academy. He then looked down on Sasuke, who was silent the whole time, listening intently to Naruto chew out Sakura, silently thanking the blonde jounin for doing him a big favor. And you, Sasuke, almighty arrogant Uchiha, well, I'd say screw the Uchiha, forget about being an Uchiha. Naruto started. This caused Sasuke to glare at him in fury. Don't look at me like that, Sasuke, because I have something to tell you. Your arrogance is going to be your own downfall. You call yourself a genius? You can't even pass a simple test with an even more obvious answer, Naruto said as he stood up and looked at the three of them. But then the Uchihas were known to have never heard of the word. Naruto said thoughtfully, but then he shook his head as he faced the three of them, his face now back to its serious visage. The answer to the test is teamwork, Naruto said flatly as he continued. With teamwork you could have gotten the bells at this, Sakura protested. But there are only 2 bells, Sakura replied as she tried to think of what Naruto meant. Naruto just looked at Sakura emotionlessly, sighing in defeat as he replied. You're supposed to be smart, Sakura. Of course the test was purposely done so you would fight among yourselves, but the true purpose is to see if you would be willing enough to forget your own interest to work together. Naruto said as he began to point out their errors. Sakura, you refused to help Konohamaru, who was closer than Sasuke. Naruto then looked at Konohamaru. Konohamaru, I'm disappointed in you. After all the things Ebisu and I taught you, you still ran around making a nuisance of yourself. Grow up. Already your grandfather would be shamed if he saw you now. Naruto said in a disappointed voice, then looking down. And you, Sasuke, attacking without even knowing the enemy's strength and refusing to ask for help. Doing what you did, Sasuke, would cause trouble for the team, putting them in danger or even killed, for example. Naruto said as he pulled out Zanpaku again, placing it directly over Sasuke's throat. Sakura, kill Konohamaru or Sasuke's head goes rolling. Naruto roared out a threat, making the 3 of them freeze at what Naruto just said. I'll give you guys one more chance after lunch, but it'll be tougher to get the bells. Naruto said as he removed Sasuke from the wires and sheathed Zanpaku. Those who wish to challenge may eat lunch but don't feed Konohamaru. Konohamaru began to protest and ask why he wasn't going to eat. It's punishment for trying to take food that isn't yours. After having said that, Naruto walked away bringing his own lunch with him. Konohamaru's stomach began to growl as he tried not to look at Sasuke and Sakura eating. Sasuke sighed as he held his lunch at Konohamaru. Here, eat, Sasuke said, earning him a surprised look from Sakura. Sasuke-kun senpai just said not to give Konohamaru. Don't worry, I don't sense him anywhere, Sasuke replied as Konohamaru tried to eat from Sasuke's lunch, He'll just be in the way if he collapses on us, Sasuke said as Sakura made up her mind and began to feed a smiling Konohamaru. From a distance, Naruto had a smile on his face as he quickly teleported in front of Team 7. What's this? Naruto's voice roared as he appeared before them. The three immediately cringed when they saw Naruto's angry expression. You three pass, he said, smiling at them with a foxy grin. Sakura and Konohamaru were laughing, shouting and yelling their happiness while Sasuke asked why. A ninja must see underneath an Anbu captain once told me that those who break the rules and codes in the shinobi world are trash, Naruto said as he faced his team, happily before continuing. But those who don't take care of their comrades are worse than trash. Alright, that ends our lesson for the day. Starting tomorrow, Team 7 will go on its missions, Naruto said as he watched Sakura dance around while Sasuke had a smirk on his face. But always remember this rule in my team: everyone works, no one gives up or quit. You don't do your job or don't take it seriously, I'll kill you myself, Naruto said as they began to trek out of the training ground. Konohamaru tried to move but found himself still tied up to the tree stump. Hey, untie me! He yelled, but the ONO reply he heard was, alright team, to celebrate let's go to Ichiraku for some ramen, my treat. Konohamaru continued to yell at his teammates. Later that day, Team 8's shouts of celebration could be heard. Well, Inuzuka Kiba's voice and Akamaru's sparks were the only ones could be heard. Team 8, consisting Hyuga Hinata, Aburame Shino and Inuzuka Kiba, had just passed their Genin exam given to them by their Jounin sensei Yuhi Kurenai. Yahoo, we're Genin Akamaru, time to celebrate. Kiba shouted as he tossed his canine companion up in the air. Kurenai meanwhile watched with a gleeful look on her face, her crimson orbs glinting with pride at her first team. Okay team, let's go to Ichiraku ramen, my treat, Kurenai announced, earning her yells of joy from the Inuzuka duo while Hyuga Hinata just squeaked a thank you. Her third student, the ever-silent Shino, just nodded his head in acknowledgement. Kurenai just shook her head when the Aburame heir didn't even utter a word. Great team, a loud brash dog boy, an unconfident Hyuga heiress, and a silent bug boy, Kurenai thought as the four of them walked along the busy streets of Konoha. Team 8 arrived at Ichiraku to the sounds Chuji's loud voice calling for another bowl of ramen. Kiba and Akamaru immediately went inside the establishment, followed closely behind by Shino and Hinata. Kurenai spotted the already smoking Asuma as she entered the restaurant. She sat beside the bearded Jounin, greeting him with a smile. So you passed your team too? She asked. Asuma blew out a puff of smoke, casting a glance at his three new subordinates. Yes, meet the new Inoshikacho team, Asuma replied, while motioning for the waitress for a bowl of ramen. I wonder who else passed the Genin exam. Think Naruto passed Uchiha's team? Kurenai just shrugged at his question, clearly not knowing the outcome of the other test. Meanwhile, with Team 8 and Team 10, so you passed as well? Che, this is troublesome, Shikamaru said, while Chuji greeted Kiba with a wave of his hand. Shino silently sat beside Chuji, his glasses-covered orbs scanning through the many flavors of ramen Ichiraku had to offer. Ino quickly sat next to Hinata, hoping to strike a conversation with the shy heiress. Shikamaru let out a bored sigh as he started to tune out Kiba's loud voice. Who else passed the Genin exam? You think Sasuke's team made it? Kiba asked curiously, more on the team's assigned Jounin rather than the student. Shikamaru shrugged, as a bowl of ramen was placed in front of him. He mumbled thanks before breaking his chopsticks and began eating. Ino, who heard Kiba's question, chose to answer for her lazy teammate. Of course Sasuke-kun will pass that exam, I bet you he beat their midget Jounin sensei all by himself, Ino proclaimed proudly, her eyes dreamily looking up the ceiling, imagining herself with the Uchiha survivor. A soft chuckle escaped Shikamaru and Chuji's lips, earning them confused looks from their fellow Genin. Ino, who didn't like Sasuke being made fun of, grew angry and began demanding why they were laughing. Why are you two laughing? You think Sasuke can't do it? Ino shrieked, hoisting both Shikamaru and Chuji by the scruffs of their shirts. Shikamaru's laughing visage immediately returned to its usual bored look. Shikamaru looked at Ino seriously, making the Yamanaka girl release him from her hold. Both of us are laughing because you're clearly underestimating Naruto. Shikamaru replied, in a cold voice before turning away from the platinum blonde girl. Why do you say that, Shikamaru? You know this Naruto character? Kiba inquired, definitely intrigued by the mysterious short Jounin of Team 7. Shikamaru scooped up the last of his ramen before replying to Kiba's question by nodding his head. Ino and the Genins of Team 8, seeing Shikamaru nod his head, inched a bit closer to hear what the lazy Naro would say. Yes, I know him. Me and Chuji have known him for 6 years now, Shikamaru replied, casting a short glance at his fellow Genins. He's one of the most reliable person I know. He is also someone who earned my respect. Shikamaru continued, while sensing 3 familiar chakra signatures and a 4th large and very familiar signature heading towards the restaurant. A small smile formed on his face as he placed a few bills on the counter. So how strong is he? Kiba inquired, but Shikamaru ignored his question and tilted his head to the side, facing the new arrivals that just entered the restaurant. Kiba and the rest of the new Genins looked past Shikamaru to get a good look at the new arrivals. The newly formed Team 7 had arrived at Ichiraku to celebrate. Naruto had a small smile behind his Anbu mask, the first team of Genin he was going to lead. I hope the old man is right about this, Naruto thought as he took his usual seat. Yo, old man, my usual, and take the orders of my team, Naruto announced as he set Sanpaka beside him, leaning against the counter. Konohamaru and Sasuke took the seat near Naruto, while Sakura had gone to sit beside her rival and teammates Hinata. The three girls immediately began a conversation. While Ino and Sakura were talking, the Hyuga heiress silently nodded while taking short glances at the short jounin. A small blush formed on her face as she cast a short glance of admiration at Naruto. Ino was happily celebrating over the fact that Sasuke had passed the genin exam. I knew my Sasuke-kun could do it. I knew he could pass the exam, Ino said excitedly, Sakura scowling at her when the words my Sasuke-kun came to her ears. Sakura glared at her for trying to claim her Sasuke, but as she was about to tell Ino off. So what kind of test did your midget of a sensei give you? Ino asked innocently. Don't call him that, Ino pig. And it was a bell test. Sakura replied while ordering a shrimp ramen for herself. Sakura began to tell her rival about the test given to her team. And Sasuke attacked me, but I guess I fainted. I woke up and found Sasuke standing in the middle of a field twitching. I thought he was just waiting for me to let my guard down, Sakura said, waving her arms around to indicate what she meant. Ino listening intently about to her tale. After Ino tried to strangle her for kicking Sasuke where the sun doesn't shine, Sakura started to eat her ramen, while Ino started her tale about Team 10's test. I knew Sasuke could pass the test and become a genin. He probably fought your sensei all by himself while you two idiots watched him, Ino said. Sakura meanwhile clenched her chopsticks, trying not to use the utensils to shove it up Ino's throat. No, Ino pig, actually the three of us got our behinds kicked badly, Sakura replied as she placed an empty bowl on the counter. Ino had a shocked look on her face when she cast a short glance at Naruto before looking back to Sakura. Ino was shaking her head, not believing what Sakura just said. Yes, it's true, Ino pig, even Sasuke couldn't get a bell. Meanwhile, Kiba, who was listening to Konohamaru talk about the exam. I'm sure I can take him, he's only a few inches taller than Sasuke, Kiba said. Konohamaru and Sasuke nearly choking on their ramen when they heard Kiba's words. The Inuzukanin wanted to challenge their senpai. Konohamaru and Sasuke had similar smirks as they watched Kiba walk over to Naruto. Naruto was talking to Shikamaru and Chuji while ordering bowl after bowl of ramen when Kiba sat next to Naruto and challenged him. Hey shorty, I'm Inuzuka Kiba and I challenge you to a fight, Kiba said, staring at Naruto, trying to intimidate him. Naruto meanwhile looked up and raised his hand at the old man asking for another bowl of ramen. Kiba had an enraged look when the jounin totally ignored him. In the background, Konohamaru and Sasuke were snickering at Kiba as if a sign that said idiot was on top of his head. Kiba grabbed the bowl of ramen being offered to Naruto and threw it outside the restaurant. Noodles and soup flying out, some of it falling on Naruto's head. A growl escaped Naruto as he hoisted Kiba up in the air, his hands holding on to the boy's jacket. Outside now, Naruto managed to say as he dropped Kiba on his ass. Kurenai quickly walked up to Naruto to try and calm him down. Kurenai knew what kind of temper had when it came to ramen and shinobis. He may be one of the best, but he has the temper like Tsunadeheim, Kurenai thought as she tried to plead with the young jounin. Kurenai-senpai, I know you and I are just new jounin instructors, but that isn't how a shinobi or a person should act, Naruto said as Kiba placed Akamaru on the ground, looking at him. A small crowd had gathered curious as to what was happening. Knowing she wouldn't be able to persuade Naruto, Kurenai let out a defeated sigh. She then turned to her student. Her foolish student. I tried to get out of this mess, but you started this, you finish it, Kurenai whispered as she passed Kiba, who was looking at Naruto unblinkingly. Naruto stared at Kiba, seething, his fingers touching his weapon of choice. I guess I'll just teach him that size doesn't really matter, Naruto thought as he sidestepped to the right, letting Kiba fly past him. He then used a finger flick to send Kiba crashing to the ground. You attack is clumsy, also your arrogance sickens me, Naruto says, his eyes never leaving Kiba and Akamaru. He then held out a hand, giving Kiba the motion to come and attack. Naruto had his other hand deep in the pouch hanging on his right, his legs ready to spring forward. Kiba meanwhile was currently having a heated discussion with his Niken Akamaru. What do you mean try that jutsu? We haven't mastered that yet, Kiba asked almost in panic when Akamaru suggested doing the jutsu. Akamaru growled at him, but Kiba tried to change his mind. Akamaru moved towards him, opening his jaw to bite Kiba. Alright, we'll do it your way, Kiba said as he tossed a soldier pill to Akamaru, which the pup ate. Naruto watched in fascination as Akamaru's fur turned red and felt an increase in chakra. Ready, Akamaru? Kiba inquired as he crouched, engaging Shikaku no Jutsu for himself, enhancing his senses of smell. A bark was the reply as Akamaru leaped onto Kiba's back and transformed into an exact copy of the Inuzuka boy. Jujin Bunshin no Jutsu, Kiba growled out as the two moved in tandem towards awaiting Naruto. Naruto quickly went onto the defensive as the two Inuzuka raced towards his direction. Eat this. Akamaru now. Gutsuga. Kiba roared out as he and Akamaru increased their speed and began to spin towards the blonde jounin. Naruto meanwhile quickly pulled out his weapon of choice, revealing it to everyone. Explosive tags? Were everyone's thoughts, but only two people recognized the paper material that Naruto held. Shit, not those tags, Shikamaru thought as he grabbed Chuji by the shirt and tried to drag the Akimichi heir inside the restaurant, who had already started closing their doors and windows. Naruto quickly leaped into the air just as Kiba came in close to him. Wrong move! Kiba growled out as Akamaru came from above Naruto, spinning like a drill. Naruto quickly spun in midair, waiting for Akamaru to strike. Poof! Akamaru connected with Naruto, but the Jounin had used Kawarimi on the last minute, quickly switching places with Kiba. Kiba was now feeling the force of his own attack. In the background, most of the people were watching in awe as Naruto quickly stuck the pieces of paper on both the downed Inuzuka's backs before teleporting inside Ichiraku, where Shikamaru, Chuji and the owners of the store watched in horror as the yellowish-green colored tag incinerated and started emitting large amounts of smoke. The people outside Ichiraku quickly found out what the tag was. Stink gas! Kiba shouted out as the strong smell overwhelmed him, while holding his nose trying to take the smell out of his nose. Kurenai and Asuma had taken out handkerchiefs and placed them over their nose and mouths. The Genins meanwhile quickly followed their example, not wanting to get a sample of smell that Inuzuka, Kiba and Akamaru now sported. Inside the store, Naruto was laughing while Shikamaru and Chuji had amused looks on their faces. The owner and his daughter were shaking their heads while preparing another bowl of ramen for Naruto and Chuji. A noise coming from his ear made Naruto stop in his amusement. He placed a hand over his ear and listened carefully before uttering a word. Yeah, Kakashi knees and Team 7 passed. Thanks for dictating to me what to say. Yeah, Roger that. I'll file the report later. Shikamaru and Chuji had puzzled looks on their faces as to who Naruto was talking to, but then quickly resumed their activities when Naruto pulled out a small radio transmitter that looked similar to a Walkman. Never one for long speeches, are you, Naruto? Shikamaru said after figuring out what Naruto did. Time jumped 2 weeks after the incident. 2 weeks has passed since Team 7 began its duties as a team of Genins and a short Jounin. 2 weeks of degrading D-rank missions, something Naruto thought he would never have to return to but saw no chance of avoiding it. During their first week, the 3 new Genins had complained to him about the missions after their training in the afternoon. Of course, Inuzuka clan head, mainly Kiba's mom, had come screaming at him for the trick he pulled on Kiba and Akamaru. Naruto and the Inuzuka head had to settle the account in the Hokage office where Kurenai and Asuma were witness to the incident. With his luck of the gods, Naruto came out of that situation unscathed with the only punishment, which was help Kurenai train her team. Naruto protested at first, but Sandaime had already closed the matter. Naruto was taken out of his thoughts when Konohamaru along with his teammates stood before him carrying bags of groceries. Done? Naruto inquired as he himself took one of the 2 bags that Konohamaru carried. Team 7 replied by nodding their heads. Naruto then began to lead them towards their client's residence. The team trekked from the supermarket to the client's residence in silence, while observing the busy streets of Konoha. "Senpai, are we going to learn any jutsus today?" Sakura asked as she raised her arms a bit to make sure her load wouldn't spill. Naruto had a thoughtful look on his face before replying by shaking his head. "Today we're gonna continue on the chakra control exercises, since last week we used it as team exercises and the basic tree climbing exercise," Naruto replied, just as they reached the client's residence. A shop filled with flowers at the front, and a sign that said Yamanaka Flower Shop. Sakura had protested at this mission, but a quick glare from Naruto made her change her mind. After dropping off the groceries, Naruto led Team 7 back to the training ground since they had finished their quota of missions for the day. Naruto made it such that they had D-rank missions in the morning and training in the afternoon. To make the missions faster, Naruto often joined them in the missions to get the job faster, and of course no blunders. On their way there, Konohamaru and Sakura would bicker and shoot glares at each other while Sasuke just walked beside Naruto. Upon arriving at the training ground, Naruto then started the team on their physical warm-up exercise. Before he let them begin their 5 rounds around Konoha, Naruto took out some bars from a hidden storage set up for weights. He then placed the new bars on each of the members, making them feel heavy with the addition of 10 pounds on each arms and legs. Naruto quickly joined his team on their run around Konoha after adding his own set of new weights and adding 1 notch to the gravity jutsu. He stayed behind Sakura to observe her progress while urging her on to move on when she started slowing down. "That's what you get for going on a diet," Naruto spoke as he pushed Sakura forward while the girl grumbled about maintaining her figure. Konohamaru and Sasuke, who were already getting used to running with the additional weights, groaned when they heard Sakura grumble, knowing full well what was coming. Naruto didn't acknowledge Sakura's grumbling as he just pushed the 3 of them further on. Their exercise, which was supposed to only take them 1.5 hours, turned to 3 since Sakura kept on stumbling and slowing down to catch her breath. Finally, after the 5th lap, Team 7 returned to their training grounds where the 3 then began to polish their tree climbing exercises, but not before Naruto gave them punishment for grumbling. "Alright, you 3, drop like a log and start with 50, Naruto said. Terror could be seen on Sakura's exhausted face. Konohamaru and Sasuke quickly complied by dropping to the ground in position for the push-ups. But then the Hokage's grandson decided to blame the fault on Sakura. "This is your fault, flat chest," Konohamaru grumbled out as he sent a glare at the pink-haired Kunoichi. "Okay, your teammate just earned you another 5 rounds around the training grounds," Naruto announced as he watched Sasuke groan and waited for Sakura to get into position. "Nice work, idiot," Sakura retorted when she suddenly had a horrified look on her face when she saw Naruto's wide grin. "And that's another 100 pull-ups. You gonna keep on going cause I can add some more," Naruto said as he leaned against the tree. "Think of this as a way of getting stronger. Each time any of you start a fight you get punishment. When you 3 agreed to be a team that came with the rules, treat everyone with respect." Naruto spoke while signaling for them to start the punishment. As one Team 7 began their punishment, while Naruto watched them like a hawk. He knew that Sakura would be a problem when it came to stamina, that's why he had to remedy that. Sasuke and Konohamaru weren't much of a problem for him since both were taking their jobs as shinobi seriously. Sakura on the other hand still didn't take it seriously, so Naruto had to tell her that if she wasn't gonna take it seriously, he would demote her back to academy student and then have her expelled. While waiting for the three of them to finish the small punishment, Naruto decided to practice his own chakra control by ramming a kunai on the ground with its sharp end facing upward. Naruto then started concentrating chakra on his index finger as he performed a handstand. With a strong push, Naruto launched himself upwards. He then used the chakra on his finger to guide him to the point of the kunai. Naruto then poured most of his concentration on the chakra in his finger while constantly adding then releasing it. This made him go up and down while trying to maintain complete control of the chakra he released. Thank you Sakura's training for Raygon. The training only took about 30 minutes as the three members of Team 7 finished their punishment. Naruto then made them start their tree climbing exercise. It wasn't a surprise to him that Sakura would be able to finish the exercise quickly. She doesn't have much chakra to control, so it would be easy for her. Naruto then turned to the other two. Sasuke had made it 1/4 of the distance that Sakura reached while Konohamaru was only 4 feet up the tree. Naruto watched the three of them for a few hours, while watching Konohamaru and Sasuke get the hang of the tree climbing exercise. Sakura now sat beside him exhausted from running up and down 3 times. Tired, Haruno? Naruto inquired while still observing Sasuke and Konohamaru's progress. Sakura let out a tired grunt as she tried hard not to fall asleep. Night had fallen and the 2 remaining members of Team 7 were still climbing, although their pace had slowed down a bit. Okay, that's enough, you can rest now so we can get some sleep, Naruto called out as he sat down. Waiting for a few moments, he then heard the sound of 2 bodies plopping on the ground. Their training regiment of tree climbing exercises and team formations continued for another week before Naruto finally decided that they would start with the weapons and individual training. So on the first day of their 4th week as a team, Naruto took them to a weaponsmith to check out the numerous weapons available to a shinobi. Naruto gleamed with pride as each of Team 7's members picked out a weapon. This weaponsmith didn't handle ordinary weaponry. No, this weaponsmith created weapons much like the design of the legendary Raijin Ken. Naruto himself was a fan of the legendary sword, so when Naruto got promoted to Chunin, Kakashi took him here to have something like the Raijin crafted. The weaponsmith that created the weapons was often made for the user alone, used with a blood seal and ritual performed after the purchasing of the said weapon. Naruto watched as Sasuke picked out a sword called the Hokage Walker while Konohamaru settled for a staff/pole that shortened and extended using chakra. Sakura, unable to decide what was best for her, sought out help from Naruto. The blonde Jounin thought long and hard about what suited Sakura the most. He gave Sakura a head-to-foot observation, then a chakra reserve observation. With a satisfied smile, Naruto walked over to a small rack and took out 2 items. He carefully examined the weapons he held before casually throwing it towards Sakura. Sakura caught the objects easily. She looked at the weapon that Naruto tossed to her. Gloves that had small claws protruding from the knuckles. Gloves? Sakura asked, but Naruto pointed to the sign on the rack that said retractable claws. With a happy smile, Sakura then joined her teammates, as Naruto took each of the genin, saved money, and then paid for the weapons. After paying for the weapons, Naruto took them to the training ground to begin helping them in handling their preferred weapons. Naruto then sent the 3 of them to different sensei who knew how to use the weapons to learn basics. So the next 2 weeks their schedule became 1 or 2 D-rank missions in the morning and training during the whole afternoon. During this time Naruto would just observe and help out his subordinates, as they quickly grasped the basics. Sasuke was trained by Gekahate in basic swordsmanship. Sakura meanwhile trained under Asuma after the bearded Jounin's missions with Team 10. Sakura didn't want Ino to see her training and taking her job as a kunoichi seriously. Konohamaru meanwhile just needed to learn how to use his new weapon. The Sarutobi clan were famous for their prowess in using a staff. At an early age, before they join the academy, Sarutobi children are taught the basics of using the staff. While his team trained in the basics of handling their weapons, or in Konohamaru's case polishing the ability, Naruto uses the time to train on his own and work on a special gift a friend had given him not so long ago. Naruto vigorously trained in activating the gift and being able to use it properly. He trained secretly, not wanting anyone to find out that he had such an ability. Time jump again to another 2 weeks. 4 dark shadows moved as one through the forest in pursuit of a 5th smaller shadow. Naruto scanned the area as he took a sniff on the air, trying to get a scent on the target. The scent was moving east from him. He pressed a finger on the button on his jacket and began to transmit his message. Target is moving east, going your way. Konohamaru, be ready to intercept. Sasuke, Sakura assist Konohamaru in capturing the target and report back to confirm containment. Naruto spoke as he moved east. 3 different voices replied to Naruto's command. Roger that, Konohamaru replied as he increased his speed as much as the weights allowed him. Sasuke and Sakura quickly moved in to support Konohamaru. A small scuffle could be heard while Naruto waited for Team 7 to report. A few minutes later, Sasuke's voice rang out from Naruto's earpiece. Naruto-senpai, target is secured. Team 7 and Naruto quickly exited the forest with Konohamaru leading the way while holding onto a small cage. Inside the cage, a harassed-looking cat, with a ribbon in its right ear, was shivering at the direction they were heading. Team 7 were heading toward the administration building, with people eye following their every movement. People's heads were popping from window to look at Team 7 proudly walk towards the building. People were actually looking at what they were wearing, which almost matched if not for the different color alterations here and there, but one color was common to the team. Team 7 wore mostly black clothes. Their hair hidden due to the Hittite used as bandanas except for Naruto, who wore his Anbu mask while Konoha's symbol tied around his arm. Sasuke wore the same clothes that he wore during his academy days except the color was black and his hair was hidden under his Hittite. Bandages covered his arms and legs although he had no injury. Sakura wore a genin version of a Konoha uniform without any flak jacket. Konohamaru meanwhile mimicked Naruto's clothes except for the mask and the Jounin flak jacket. The weapons that they bought were proudly strapped to them. Sasuke had his sword hanging from his side. Sakura wore the gloves but had the claws retracted. Konohamaru had the staff strapped to his back like Naruto had Zanpaku strapped to his back. Naruto stood at attention as he presented his report to the Hokage. Sakura giving their client the lost pet they had retrieved. Team 7 had sympathetic looks for the pet as they watched in horror. Madame Shizumi, the wife of the fire daimyo and their client, was hugging/strangling her cat in bliss. Everyone in the room except for Madame Shizumi felt sorry for the cat and knew why the feline ran away often. After getting their paycheck, Team 7 stayed behind for their next mission. Sandaime sat in his desk silently reading Team 7's mission stats and casting a short glance at High Grandson pick a small fight with his teammate. Naruto then silenced them by knocking them on the head. Well, Team 7 24 D-rank missions in 2 months and 2 weeks. Impressive. Sarutobi started as he let his gaze settle on the blonde Jounin. Behind him Team 7 was beaming with pride at the praise the Hokage just gave them. They also cast an admiring look at Naruto, which Sarutobi took notice of. Well, Team 7, I believe that you are now prepared for higher rank missions, Sarutobi said, earning him relieved look from Naruto and huge grins from Team 7. Well, grins from Sakura and Konohamaru. Sasuke had a smirk on his face. As you know, Naruto, with the recent success of the bridge built in Wave Country, the trade industry between Konoha and Mist has been opened. As such, I would like Team 7 to bring the trade treaty documents to Mist, Sarutobi announced as Iruka took out a brown scroll and presented it to Naruto. The blonde Jounin opened the scroll before tossing the scroll over to Sasuke. Your mission duration is 3 weeks, since with you and Team 7 staying in Wave Country for a week. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the last statement. Why? Naruto inquired after silencing Sakura and Konohamaru with a glare. Sasuke meanwhile had already kept the scroll in his pocket. Because Naruto, this mission is a double mission for you. A C rank for Team 7 while a B rank mission for you. We have reason to believe that the sword has been spotted in Wave Country. Plus the Wave Country Marshal requested your presence for the bridge opening, Sarutobi explained while giving Naruto the documents for the treaty. Naruto nodded in understanding. He then turned to Team 7, his tone of voice serious as he spoke. You 3 pack 2 weeks worth of clothing and bring all of your equipment, including your weapons, Naruto ordered as the 3 member of Team 7 immediately scrambled out of the room to follow Naruto's orders. Sarutobi and Iruka had a smile on their faces as they watched Team 7 move without question to Naruto orders. Well, I better go home and pack my stuff, Naruto said as he disappeared from Sandaime and Iruka's midst. Team 7 gathered at the north gate after a few hours of packing. Naruto quickly did an inventory check of the things that Team 7 brought. After doing this, they started their journey towards Wave Country. On the way there, Konohamaru was excited about the whole mission, asking Naruto questions every 5 minutes. Naruto then made Konohamaru take point as they started to pick up the pace by increasing their moving speed. They traveled at a fast rate, while Naruto explained to the team what to expect in Wave Country. Team 7 had covered the distance rather quickly as the air soon had the smell of salt water. Wave Country used to be a poor country and overrun by the Gata Company. So right now the country should be booming with business and fishing and trading, Naruto said as Team 7 passed by 3 water puddles. Naruto noticed the strange puddles of water but took no heed to it. Team 7 quickly picked up their pace by increasing their speed as much as the weights and their luggage would allow. As Team 7 disappeared from sight, 3 forms emerged from the puddles. Their Hittite were that of Aim. With silent nods, the 3 of them rushed towards the unsuspecting Team 7. Kirasame, his Aim and Murasame, exiled Aim Neens, had gleeful looks on their faces as they raced after Team 7. Time for us to deal with these trespassers, Kirasame said, his voice filled with sick amusement. Meanwhile, Team 7 had stopped to rest and eat their lunch. Naruto was nowhere to be seen. Sasuke was leaning against the tree, eating a rice ball, while Konohamaru sat on the ground, eating a ham sandwich along with a banana, while Sakura feasted on her dango. Unbeknownst to them, the rain neens had caught up to them and were waiting for the right time to strike. Naruto meanwhile hid in the trees, looking at the 3 rain neens that were spying on his team. Judging from their attire, I'd say they're rain neens and Chunin level, Naruto thought as the 3 assailants leaped into action. Team 7 immediately took a stance, leaving their food unfinished. Naruto decided to watch for a while before jumping in to interfere in the fight. Sasuke and Konohamaru quickly pulled out kunais from their holsters to defend themselves. Sakura had 4 shurikens in each hand ready to be thrown at a moment's notice. The rain neens surrounded Team 7, amused by the actions that Team 7 were doing. Well, what do we have here? A bunch of brats pretending to be ninjas, Kirasame spoke while eyeing the 3 genins before him. Team 7 chose not to reply as they just slid into fighting stances. No words were said as the Rain Nines began to engage Team 7. Sasuke intercepted an advancing Murasame with his kunai which the Rain Nin deflected. His aim, the only female in the group, fought with Sakura, completely overpowering the pink-haired Kunoichi. Konohamaru faced off with Kirasame in a taijutsu match, but Konohamaru, having short arms and legs, was easily thrown towards the trees. Konohamaru quickly recovered from his impact and continued to engage the Rain Nin, this time at a distance, throwing projectiles at the mocking Rain Nin. Sasuke meanwhile was in a deadlock with Murasame, either one of them getting an advantage over the other. Sakura meanwhile had even upped the odds by using her brains and small frame to dodge Hisame's Mizu Hoipu, Water Whip. Noticing that their opponents were taking the fight up a notch, Team 7 started going through a series of hand seals. Almost as if by coincidence the three of them finished at the same time, and as one roared out the name of their jutsu. Katan, Housenka no Jutsu. Sasuke, being the more experienced one in using the jutsu, launched a fair amount of fireballs towards Murasame. Kirasame now had a pissed-off look on his face when Konohamaru launched 6 fireballs towards him. Konohamaru meanwhile charged forward, seeing his chance and landing a hit on Kirasame. Sasuke meanwhile was now back-to-back with Sakura after being pushed back by Murasame, and his aim into a corner. Sakura, where's Konohamaru? Sasuke asked as he parried Murasame's kunai. Still fighting their third member, Sakura replied as she quickly ducked, evading Hisame's whip and then throwing her kunai towards the Rain Kunoichi. Where's Naruto-senpai? Sakura thought when she heard Konohamaru's shout. Kyuso. Konohamaru's in trouble, Sakura reported to Sasuke, who had also heard the boy's shout. Sasuke moved towards Konohamaru's direction, but Murasame blocked his path. Konohamaru stumbled back as he tried to escape Kirasame's wrath. The Rain Nin had overpowered the boy easily and had started to get serious. Shit, this is bad, Konohamaru thought as he rolled to the right, evading Kirasame's lunge. Konohamaru quickly scrambled out of Kirasame's way, but the Rain Nin was too fast for Konohamaru. The Hokage's grandson stood there frozen in fear as Kirasame lunged towards him in glee with a kunai in hand. A flash of yellow light appeared in front of Konohamaru, as he was sent rolling to the ground. Konohamaru had his eyes shut and was shaking in fear. I'm dead, was Konohamaru's thoughts, but it was immediately interrupted by a familiar voice. You alright, Konohamaru? Naruto's voice spoke as the blonde Jounin set the boy down on the ground. Konohamaru stared at Naruto in amazement, while Sasuke and Sakura joined the two of them a few seconds later. Hey, you two, protect Konohamaru, Naruto ordered as Murasame and his aim joined Kirasame's side. Sasuke and Sakura quickly went to Konohamaru's side to see if he was alright. Who are you and why did you attack my team? Naruto asked while observing the 3 Nins before him. You're trespassing in our lands and we were just having fun, Kirasame replied while his aim and Murasame stayed silent. Naruto meanwhile didn't bother replying as Murasame followed closely behind by his 2 comrades. Naruto quickly rushed forward, intercepting Murasame's 14th step by landing an uppercut that sent him crashing backwards. Sasuke and Sakura meanwhile watched in awe as Naruto fought the Rain Nins. Konohamaru, as still lost in his own world, shivering in fear. Murasame and his fellow Rain Nins finally recognized who their opponent was. And no wonder we're beaten easily on one-on-one combat, we're fighting none other than Konoha's Shinigami Uzumaki, Naruto Murasame said as his aim and Kirasame got up from the ground and wiped the blood flowing from their lips. Konoha's Shinigami? Sasuke and Sakura's thought were that of curiosity and confusion. In Konoha there is only one Anbu who carries a large sword and the only Anbu who has that height, Kirasame said, laughing at the blonde Jounin's height. But that doesn't matter. You 4 will die in our hands. Naruto decided he had enough of the short jokes. He waited for Kirasame to speak again. Next word you say. You'll be eating my foot, Naruto thought. D-dash. Kirasame roared, but he never got to finish what he was saying as Naruto disappeared from their midst and reappeared in front of Kirasame. Naruto then shot upwards, his fist ignited in flames. Fushishus Shoken. Phoenix Flight Fist, Naruto roared as he sent Kirasame flying backwards. He was about to turn to the other 2 hen whips made out of water wrapped around him. Murasame and his aim held onto their Mizu Hoipa tightly. Smirks were plastered on their faces as they had a triumphant look on their eyes. And I thought we would have trouble, his aim said as she pulled on the whip. Naruto gritted his teeth as he struggled to escape from the whip's tight hold. Murasame and his aim chuckled evilly while Kirasame came back and punched Naruto as hard as he can. Sasuke and Sakura were immediately on high alert when they saw Naruto captured. Konohamaru had gotten out of his stupor when he saw the 3 Rain Nins capture Naruto. Kirasame broke from their formation and started towards Team 7. Sasuke took a step forward, letting Sakura guard Konohamaru. Sasuke began to engage Kirasame in a taijutsu battle. All the while Kirasame still had that gleeful look on his face as he parried Sasuke's punches and sent his knee crashing into the Uchiha survivor's stomach. You're just brats pretending to be ninjas. I'll do the 3 of you a favor and send you off to heaven, Kirasame yelled as he rammed his elbow into Sasuke's stomach, driving the Uchiha into the ground. Sasuke coughed up some blood as Kirasame continued his assault. Konohamaru, not wanting to see a comrade get hurt, charges past Sakura and towards Kirasame. Murasame and his aim meanwhile watch in delight as Kirasame pick each of the genins one by one. You disappoint us, Shinigami. It seems your reputation as a shinobi was just a fabrication of lies, his aim said as she sent a small charge of electricity through the whip, giving Naruto a slight jolt of pain. Konohamaru was now sprawled on the ground, his Hittite on the ground. As I said before, you're just a bunch of brats pretending to be ninjas, Kirasame spoke icily as he stepped on Konohamaru's Hittite. Sakura tried to run to help the boy, but Sasuke held her and told her not to interfere. Konohamaru was shaking in fear as he dodged Kirasame's attacks. I'm really gonna die here, I can't move anymore, the boy thought when he suddenly let his eyes settle on his Hittite. Flashback. A 10-year-old Naruto sat beside a 6-year-old Konohamaru. A silhouette of Ebisu could be seen in the background twitching. Gigi gave me that name, Konohamaru. I'm named after the village, but Konohamaru said in a sad voice. No one in the village has ever called me by that name, only the third grandson. This the third grandson, and I'm sick of it, that's why I want the Hokage name now. A soft chuckle escaped Naruto's lips, which then turned to full-blown laughter. What? Why are you laughing at me? Konohamaru yelled as he shook his fist at Naruto. Naruto continued to chuckle before turning his attention to the boy. Who would acknowledge a brat like you? If you really want to get an awesome name as Hokage, then, Naruto said. His tone had no hint of humor in it, only seriousness. Then what? Konohamaru asked, anxiously thirsting for any way to gain the Hokage name. Then you'll have to kick my ass first. Naruto said. A feral grin could be seen on his face, a dangerous look that often made his targets want to crawl under a rock. If you really want an incredible name like Hokage that all people will acknowledge, then prepare yourself, Naruto said, giving Konohamaru a small smile. Prepare? Prepare for what? Konohamaru inquired, not really understanding what Naruto meant. When you graduate from the academy and have your own Hittite, always wear it proudly where everyone can see it. The Hittite is the symbol of your growing up and a sign of you as an adult, Naruto said while leaning against a tree. There aren't going to be shortcuts, Konohamaru. Remember that there is no shortcut to being Hokage or gaining strength, Naruto said as he started walking out of the clearing. Until next time, Konohamaru, maybe one day I'll fight you for that Hokage name. It's a promise of a lifetime, were Naruto's words as he disappeared, leaving the small boy looking at him in awe and admiration. Flashback ends. That's right, I still have something to do, I still have a goal to fulfill, Konohamaru thought as he quickly dodged Kirasame's kick and scrambled out of the way. I won't need to be saved anymore, I swear on the leaf symbol that I will have everyone acknowledge me, Konohamaru thought as he stood up, Sasuke and Sakura quickly moving to his side. Are you alright, Konohamaru? Sasuke inquired while not letting his onyx orbs leave Kirasame. Sasuke! Take the team and go back to the village, Naruto shouted out, but his cries earned him 2 more electric shocks. Shut up you, and let Kirasame have his fun, Murasame said while Naruto gritted his teeth, falling silent immediately. When I get out of here, Naruto thought when sudden movement caught his attention. Idiot, Naruto thought as he watched Konohamaru roar out a battle cry and charge forward. Kirasame, Sasuke and Sakura are too late to try and stop their teammate from charging forward. They watched in horror as Kirasame kicked Konohamaru backwards to where he started before. Sakura meanwhile saw something in Konohamaru's hand. His Hittite? Sakura thought when Konohamaru spoke out. You guys, I have a plan, Konohamaru said, but Naruto once again urged them to flee the scene. It's too late for that, senpai, and you said so yourself. Those who break the rules are trash, but those who don't take care of their teammates are worse than trash, Sasuke replied as he inched closer to Konohamaru to listen to the boy's plan. Sakura meanwhile was amazed at Konohamaru, seeing as the boy just created a plan in a situation like this. Why don't you follow what Shinigami said and run away? Kirasame spoke when Team 7 suddenly charged forward. With Konohamaru in the lead, Sasuke pulled out a folded object from his pack while Sakura took out shurikens from her holster. Fuma shuriken, Sasuke called out as he threw the shuriken towards Kirasame. Sakura followed Sasuke's example by throwing her own shurikens towards Kirasame. Konohamaru meanwhile had finished the hand seals he was going through. Ninpu, Konoha Kiri Shuriken, leaf cutter shurikens, Konohamaru called out as the fallen leaves from the trees started to float in the air and start to spin towards Kirasame. Kirasame quickly caught the Fuma shuriken, but a second shuriken hidden emerged from its shadow and sliced through the air towards Kirasame. Damakage Fusha, Kirasame thought as he jumped over the shuriken and caught some of Sakura's shurikens. Murasame and his aim meanwhile, with their hands occupied and holding on to their whips, weren't so lucky as numerous leaves sliced through the air, cutting them. Kirasame retaliated quickly, but he forgot that he was dealing with 3 genins. Kirasame ran right into Team 7's trap as the 3 genins surrounded him. Each of them once again finished on the last hand seal, but different starting hand seal at the same time, calling out the jutsus to an oblivious Kirasame. Kirasame, you fool, look out! His aim shouted as she tried to send another electric shock to stop Naruto from escaping. It's a bit late for that, Naruto spoke as his aim watched Kirasame fall victim to a Katon, Kukaku no Jutsu from Sasuke, a Katon, Hausenka from Sakura, and a Katon, Ryuka from Konohamaru. His aim, angered by Kirasame's defeat, set a huge electric shock towards Naruto, but she then suddenly realized something as different. She turned to Murasame, and to her horror Murasame had let go of the whip which had been frozen. A sharp pain coursed through her hand when she suddenly realized that her whip had turned to ice and had needle-like spikes sticking into her hand. Both his aim and Murasame quickly regrouped with a very beaten-up and burned Kirasame. Naruto meanwhile joined his team, congratulating them in growing up and proving to be true shinobis. Naruto quickly told Team 7 to rest as he pulled out Zanpakuo from his sheath ready to finish of the 3 rain nins. The 3 rain nins stood their ground when 20 umbrellas suddenly appeared in the sky. It started to spin as needles began to pour out from it. Kyuso! Naruto cursed as he used Zanpaku to deflect most of the needles. He glanced back to Team 7 who had gotten up and followed Naruto's example in deflecting the thin projectiles. Zanpaku's blade spun like a fan creating a vortex as it sliced the needles to pieces. As this went on, Naruto could now see that were outnumbered by 3-1. There were about 20 rain neens that had begun to attack. As the rain neens began to appear, a thick mist had begun to roll in the area. The three of you don't let anything happen to the scroll and protect yourselves, Naruto said as he deflected the last of the needles before performing a familiar hand seal. Tajukage Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto roared out as 50 clones appeared into existence. With a large battle cry, Naruto sent his clones to engage the rain neens. The battle suddenly stopped as the leader of the rain neens stepped into the battlefield. Naruto instantly recognized the individual standing opposite to him. Surrounded by an army of rain neens and having a smug look on his face, in his hand a sword's hilt could be seen, the man had a triumphant look on his face. The famous Konoha's Shinigami striking fear in the hearts of missing neens, the leader spoke as he put pressure on the handle. A blade made out of yellow lightning emerged from the hilt. Rokushu Aoi, Naruto said as he swung his sword in the missing neen's direction. Aoi saw the large sword that Naruto carried before laughing hysterically. Aoi waved the Raijin Ken as if to taunt Naruto before turning back to the men behind him. He then turned back to Naruto to insult the boy once more. Oh, please don't make me laugh, brat. You're still a brat, and are no match for my army. You may have killed my brother Mizuki, but this time I came prepared. Aoi spoke, his voice filled with hatred and anger. Kill them and leave no trace behind, Aoi commanded as he disappeared behind the sea of rain neens. Naruto charged after the missing neen only to meet the rain neens. Come back here, you coward! Naruto roared as he evaded some of the rain neen's attacks while going on the offensive, striking and slashing opponents in half. With every rain neen sliced in half, a white-like ghost would fly up in the air screaming. Most of the rain neens that had attacked Naruto were terrified at the strange occurrence. Naruto's clones were also engaging the rain neens that were up trees. Shinigami Ryu, Chishayo and Aishikyu no Mai. Death God style. Dance of the Blood Red Moon, Naruto roared out as 5 different Narutos fanned out, slicing through a number of the rain neens. Screams filled the air as one by one rain neen souls were released by Naruto's sword. Sasuke, Sakura and Konohamaru were caught in a corner defending themselves using their weapons and jutsus. Due to their recent battle, Team 7 was slowly wearing down. None of the combatants noticed the mist that had rolled in the area, almost completely covering the whole area. Naruto panted as he kept on slicing through the enemies to get to Aoi. There's too many of them, Naruto thought as he quickly ducked down, narrowly evading a slice from a rain neen. It is then that he noticed the mist that was in the area. Mist? Naruto thought as he tried to figure out what was Mist doing here. A sharp pain on his shoulder brought the blonde Jounin back from his thoughts. A rain neen had used his distraction to strike Naruto. Crap, Naruto thought as chakra depletion and exhaustion began to kick in along with the injury. Suetun, Daibaku no Jutsu. A voice called out as a large amount of water exploded into the area, driving back the rain neens. Naruto, seeing his chance, he quickly performed a series of hand seals before slamming it to the ground. Doton, Doryuden Nadar no Jutsu. Earth Element, Earth Dragon Blast Avalanche Skill, Naruto whispered as a huge mass of earth rose from the ground and covered the remaining rain neens. Sasuke, Sakura and Konohamaru sighed in relief as 2 unknown shinobis appeared out of nowhere and began engaging the rain neens that were attacking them. The 2 rescuers were linked together by a long spiked chain which the 2 used to tear through the rain neens' defenses and shred them to pieces. After most of their assailants had fled, Team 7 followed by their rescuers moved through the sea of sliced bodies to find Naruto. Naruto sat on the ground panting as he released the technique. Behind him a large man stood watching the destruction that the young Jounin just caused. Team 7 arrived just in time to see Naruto finish the rest of the rain neens. Yo! Good job, team, Naruto said in a tired voice. Kami-sama, I need to rest, Naruto thought while Kyubi growled in his head for his earlier mistake. Team 7 quickly surrounded their comrade, unsure if their rescuers were hostile or friendly, but Naruto put that to rest when he spoke again. Nice to see you again, Momochi Zabuza, Naruto said as he fell to the ground unconscious. The last thing Naruto saw was Team 7 surrounding him, their faces filled with worry. Don't worry, Naruto is just exhausted from the battle and ran out of chakra, Zabuza said, trying to reassure Team 7. He gave them a small smile as he picked up Naruto after using all his strength to put Zanpaku back in its sheath. He then started to walk towards the village followed by the demon brothers. Follow me, you look like you need rest. Team 7 didn't argue with Zabuza and just quietly followed the eyebrowless man and his followers. Zabuza wore a vest much like Naruto wore, except it was open, showing his upper torso. Team 7 was worried about Naruto since the Jounin had passed out after charging into the sea of enemies, cutting through them with his large sword. One thing ran through their minds though. Who was Momochi Zabuza and why did Naruto-senpai know him? Also, they had seen the Raijin sword, the legendary sword of the Naruto. One last thing troubled their minds: why was Naruto called Konoha's Shinigami? Naruto opened his cerulean orbs, his ears picking up the sounds of growling. He cautiously got up, noticing that the ground he was lying on was wet. He squinted his eyes, trying to adjust to the dim lighting of the room. Again a large growling echoed through the damp tunnel. Great, I'm still unconscious, the blonde Jounin thought as he started towards the source of the growls. Still disoriented, Naruto stumbled his way towards Kyuubi's chambers where the great fox waited his arrival. As he walked towards Kyuubi's chambers he passed by an ice-covered door. He passed the door not even wondering why it was made out of ice in the first place. Hurry up, Naruto, I haven't got all day. Kyuubi roared, his patience thinning as the boy known as Konoha's Shinigami finally arrived in the Kyuubi's chambers. Finally you arrived, sure took your time, you stupid brat. Kyuubi growled as his tails cracked like whip against the bars of his prison. The sound echoed around the great chamber, making Naruto wince in pain. Nice job activating the blood's powers, Naruto. You sure know how to fight, Kyuubi continued while Naruto just tried to block Kyuubi's ranting. Oh, shut up, fox. It's not like I meant to forget deactivating the powers, Naruto replied while stretching his body. The situation was getting for the worse. You think I planned on pouring my chakra into the ability? Naruto continued while Kyuubi just grunted in annoyance. This wouldn't have happened if you just gave me your chakra to keep me going. Well, next time you want to experiment in using unknown powers. Leave me out of it, Kyuubi retorted. Plus I'm still trying to take out the last of the poison in your body, you idiot. I won't always be here to heal you, Naruto, so next time stop holding back. All that skill and strength you gained over the years training with those two white-haired perverts. Kyuubi continued his rant, seeing as Naruto still hasn't yelled at him yet for being so loud. I agree with Kyuubi on this one, Naruto-sama. A new voice came from behind Naruto. Naruto turned to see a black-clad figure standing at the entrance of Kyuubi's chambers. The black-clad figure had wild spiked raven hair and piercing cold onyx eyes. The figure wore mostly black, almost fitting clothes. You used an untested power on a battle which would have been finished if you had stuck to using your own power. See, Naruto, even the Shinigami's kitchen knife agrees with me, Kyuubi replied, earning him an enraged Zanpaku. Naruto ignored the two for a few minutes as he tried to recollect what had happened earlier. In the background, Kyuubi and the entity that the great fox called Shinigami's kitchen knife argued and bickered. You want to fight, you stupid furball? The figure called out, shaking his fist at the caged demon. Kyuubi in retaliation swung his tails at the bars, causing small tremors to course through the gigantic chamber. The figure strode closer to the demon's cage, making the demon retreat further back into the enclosed space. I thought so, you're afraid of me, Kyuubi. I'm more afraid of where you came from, knife. Kyuubi roared, red chakra leaking out of the bars, which immediately went to Naruto, mixing with him. I'm more afraid of the one that wielded you before, Naruto, Kyuubi snarled through clenched teeth. Zanpaku, Kyuubi, enough, Naruto hissed in anger, as the chakra began to decapitate into his own chakra system. The boy turned to both entities before him, one cloaked in midnight black while the other sealed inside a cage with only a piece of paper that held it from escaping. Both entities with him inside his head immediately fell silent. So how did you shut off the blood's powers? Naruto asked as the boy sat down facing the two. Zanpaku was the first to reply as he motioned for Naruto to follow him. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the caged demon before following the dagger of the death god known to him as Zanpaku. Both of them silently glided through the many corridors within Naruto's mind until they reached the ice-covered chamber. Eh? What's this, Zanpaku? Naruto inquired as his hand touched the ice, noticing that it wasn't freezing cold. That, Naruto-sama, is where the blood's powers are kept. Well, switch off. It immediately switched off just as it took a huge chunk of your chakra. For what purpose I do not know. The blood's powers seem to have a mind of its own, or a sentient being, so to speak, Zanpaku explained when a hissing sound suddenly reached both their ears. Naruto raised an eyebrow as he set his gaze at Zanpaku's dark form. Zanpaku shrugged, showing he was as puzzled as Naruto. I don't have any idea what is happening, Naruto-sama. Okay, I'll just check it out then, Naruto said as he took a step forward, half of his body disappearing into frozen chamber. Zanpaku followed Naruto closely, but when he entered the room he got blasted backwards, sending him crashing into a wall. What the Naruto started, but his words were muffled as the ice chamber's doors closed shut, keeping him inside to face the entity inside. Meanwhile, in the real world, Team 7 huddled around Naruto's unconscious form while Tazuna and Zabuza discussed in private about the situation. Inari, Tazuna's grandson, sat beside Naruto's bed looking at the young Jounin with worry. Tsunami and Tazuna sat at the dining table while Zabuza leaned against the wall, his eyes close, making his facial features in a pensive manner. The demon brothers were not present since the former Miss Nuke Nin had ordered the two to scavenge for weapons and materials from the buried rain Nins. Zabuza, with his patience running thin, moved towards the next room for a little chat with Team 7. Inari-san, not to be rude or anything, but I have something to discuss with Naruto's comrades, Zabuza explained as he entered the room. Team 7 gave Zabuza curious looks while Inari just nodded and left the room after waving goodbye to Konohamaru. You're probably wondering what I want to talk about. Well, listen first before asking questions, Zabuza started as the door closed. All eyes were on him as he sat down. The metallic clang of his arm resting against the table's surface echoed around the room. He flexed his right arm, letting out a small bit of steam. Special arm made from Snow Country, an arm made out of a special alloy that uses chakra and blood. This arm is connected to me as if it were my real arm, Zabuza said, seeing as the three genins were looking at the silver-blue arm. My arm was torn off by Naruto-kun's blade in our last fight, Zabuza explained further, as he showed Team 7 an example of what the arm could do. Water particles in the air started to take form in Zabuza's hand. And this is the power that was given to me by my late apprentice and adopted son Haku. My boy died protecting both me and Naruto, Zabuza continued as flashes of memories returned. To him. Flashback. A trio of ANBU stood in a delta formation while being surrounded by dozens of mercenaries. In the center of the three ANBU were three other bodies. The Nukenin Momochi Zabuza, his right arm, almost completely torn off with only a few tendons attaching it to the body. Haku, Zabuza's apprentice, who was now bloodied and had a hole on his right pectoral, and finally Uzumaki Naruto, who had numerous needles sticking out of him, and a small shard of ice sticking through his chest. Not far from the hordes of mercenaries stood Gato, the tyrant businessman. He had a cruel grin on his face as he watched his lackeys close in on the tiring shinobi. Kakashi meanwhile held onto his father's sword, the white chakra blade glowing menacingly at any approaching mercenary. Behind him the team medic tried to heal the injured, but Haku spoke through heavy breaths. Haku held onto Zabuza's hand tightly while he desperately tried to shift his broken body towards his precious person. Haku was finally able to turn his head facing the medic ANBU. Please give some of my blood to Zabuza-san and transplant my heart to the boy I fought, Haku said as he clung to life desperately. Haku's wounds were already severe as Kakashi's raikiri pierced through his left pectoral, narrowly missing his heart. Before the medic ANBU could start with the quick transplant and transfusion, Haku and Zabuza shared one last father-to-son conversation. Zabuza-san, I'm sorry for being weak, Haku spoke, each time his breathing becoming more heavy. Zabuza just held onto Haku's hand tightly before replying that it didn't really matter as he was weak. You're like a son to me, Zabuza said as he tried to hug the boy one last time. The medic immediately began working on the transfusion of Haku's blood to Zabuza. The transfusion was quick as the ANBU immediately went to Naruto, transplanting half of Haku's heart to the young boy. As this was occurring, Kyuubi worked on fixing and healing Naruto. Just as the transplant finished, Haku's heart quickly intertwined with Naruto's heart, becoming part of him. The medic was quite surprised when Naruto's wound healed after she transplanted the heart. Tears rolled down Zabuza's eyes as Haku's last breath escaped his lips. The medic felt sorry for Zabuza's loss, but a grunt from Kakashi broke her thoughts. Kakashi and the other ANBU were feeling hard-pressed as more mercenaries came to try and subdue them. Kakashi was already running low on chakra from using the chakra blade and jutsus to incapacitate the mercenaries. Kakashi swung the chakra blade in an arc, sending a large white fawn shape to cut through the advancing mercenaries. You stupid shinobis are outnumbered. Even that so-called devil of the mist can't help you now. Gato sneered as he snapped his fingers, signaling his mercenaries that consisted of samurais and thugs to charge forward. Kakashi and his tiring partner popped 2 soldier pills into their mouths as the onslaught of mercenaries closed in on them. Just as the 2 ANBUs sliced 3 samurais in half, a large pillar of red chakra rose from behind them, a eerie killer intent sweeping across the room. Some of the weaker thugs and samurais collapsed under the pressure of the killer intent, eyed in surprise and fear. Gato started sweating when the sudden red pillar shot out from behind the shinobis. You will pay for this, a dark voice escaped from within the red pillar. A silhouette of a black-clad figure hovered over the blonde ANBU as the killer intent continued to radiate inside the room. More of the weakening mercenaries falling on their knees, trembling in fear at the pressure encircling around the large warehouse. Kakashi and his team moved back, not even curious as to what Naruto meant. Having been a part of raising Yondaime's legacy, Kakashi knew what Naruto was feeling. The sole Uzumaki member was pissed off, and combined with the Kyuubi's rage, Kakashi quickly ordered the rest of his team to get out of the warehouse as he carefully hoisted Zabuza's unconscious form. His team complied, leaving behind Gato at the mercy of a berserked and pissed off Naruto. Kakashi and his team waited outside as screams of the mercenaries trapped inside rang out from the shattered windows. Naruto in that enraged looked along with the manifestation of the entity that was Naruto's sword. Naruto seemed like the death god himself, wielding the strange artifact that had fallen after Yondaime sealed Kyuubi in his son. At first the large sword took the form of a small dagger, but as Naruto gained his strength over the years, the sword took its large shape when Naruto joined ANBU, surprising the Hokage and the ANBU commander Hatake Kakashi when the issue katana was replaced by the weapon. Zabuza woke up from that fight outside of the warehouse just as Naruto exited the large building soaked in blood. Zabuza wept when the medic presented him with Haku's lifeless body. The ANBU team and along with Zabuza buried Haku's body under the unfinished bridge. Zabuza placing his sword, the Kubikiri Hocho, in front of Haku's grave. Hanging from the hilt was Haku's broken Hunter Nin mask. End of flashback. Zabuza wiped away a tear that was starting to fall from his face. Team 7 stayed silent after listening to what happened to Zabuza. The trade treaty will happen in 1 week's time. This is also the start of the Wave Festival. The Water Country Daimyo is sending his daughter Sui Lingheim for the beauty pageant scheduled on that day, Zabuza explained while filling a glass of water from the pitcher on the table. Silence was what Zabuza got from Team 7. He drained the glass of water before continuing with his explanation. Sui Lingheim will be arriving tomorrow with her escorts and her bodyguard in preparation for the pageant. The Rain Nin you encountered on your way here is a Leaf Nin traitor. Rokushuao, I believe his target will be the treaty and the princess during the pageant, Zabuza explained, earning him nodding heads from the 3 genins. I would like to offer my help to you since Naruto-kun hasn't awakened yet. During the preparation week I will train you unlike a Leaf Nin way, but knowing that your team leader is Naruto, I would expect that he has disciplined you. You trying to take away my comrades from me, Zabuza? A voice in between Team 7 spoke up as a mess of blonde hair slowly got his upper torso up. Zabuza and Team 7 turned to the source of the voice. Naruto struggled to stand up, but due to his still healing state he couldn't get up yet. Stay still Naruto, you need to rest, invoking the blood's powers takes a toll on you, Zabuza said, his voice filled with worry. I'll be fine, Zabuza-san, Naruto replied as he got up, wobbly at first but after regaining his balance. The blonde Jounin began collecting his weaponry, and other things. After all his things were on his body, he then turned his head to Team 7. "Oh, you three, what are you doing? Form outside in 5 seconds, move," Naruto ordered, which caused the surprised Team 7 to quickly comply, else they felt the wrath of Naruto's punishments. Naruto and Zabuza followed behind Team 7 out the door, but not before Naruto stopped in the kitchen to greet the owner of the house. "Hi, old man." "Tsunami Nichin Inari," Naruto greeted as he exited through the kitchen door. Zabuza following closely behind. Team 7 stood at attention outside the house waiting for Naruto's orders. "Alright team, since our good friend Zabuza-san has offered his help in training, I would accept his offer on one condition," Naruto started, turning to the masked sheriff of the Wave Country. Zabuza had an invisible eyebrow raised, trying to ask what the condition was. "Within the 1 week you're going to train my team, I want you to hold nothing back. By the end of the week I want Sakura to have her chakra reserves raised and to be able to at least use the special jutsu we work together thrice," Naruto said. Zabuza nodded and listened closely to what Naruto had to say next. "I want Konohamaru to be at least sufficient in silent combat, and Sasuke to be able to use the Sharingan," Naruto said while Zabuza had a shocked look on his face, eyeing the silent Uchiha. Naruto nodded before speaking to confirm what Zabuza was thinking. "Yes, Zabuza-san, Sasuke is part of the Uchiha clan, well, the last of the Uchihas in Konoha. While you train them in your way, I'm going to train," Naruto spoke as he followed Zabuza, who was leading Team 7 to a nearby lake. Naruto quickly separated from his team, finding a large clearing for him to train in for the next 7 days. Naruto stood at the center of the clearing, his breathing calm and collective as a squad of shadow clones appeared surrounding the blonde Jounin. Kage Bunshin, a technique that Naruto often used and practiced to a point that he didn't need to shout out the technique like any other shinobis. Naruto often used Kage Bunshin since he learned from Jiraiya and Kakashi that this was once a favorite of the Yondaimes. Naruto, although being trained under Jiraiya and Kakashi, only knew 2 of Yondaime's techniques. The Rasengan and Shuinpa, or Warp Step as Jiraiya called it. When Naruto asked that he wanted to learn Shunshin and Hiraishin no Jutsu, Jiraiya just shook his head, saying learn to walk before running. Instead, Jiraiya gave him the scroll which contained Shuinpa, Warp Step or Instant Step, before leaving for his mission, a starting technique for Hiraishin and Shunshin, God of Flash, since Shunpa only used short distances, 80 meters maximum distance for Shunpa, while Hiraishin no Jutsu and Shunshin were a time and space technique. Hiraishin no Jutsu required for the user to cast a Jutsushiki on a target for the Jutsu to be successful, while Shunshin did not require such things. Naruto opted to learn both techniques, although Jiraiya had warned him that the techniques would often bring much stress to the body. Naruto had a small smile on his face when he mastered Rasengan, and could perform Shuinpa without passing out. After learning the 2 starting techniques from Jiraiya and Kakashi, Naruto practiced every day to try and incorporate the 2 techniques into his fighting style. Kakashi once told him that Shunshin and Hiraishin no Jutsu made the Yondaime famous as Konoha's Yellow Flash. Inwardly, Naruto grinned at the prospect of getting his own legendary name. Konoha's Shinigami, Naruto thought as he let his instincts start to go wild and let his mind move to its battle trance. Konoha's Shunshin sounds kind of cool. I'll have to use Shuinpa often and get Arotousen to teach me Shunshin, Naruto thought as he blocked an incoming fist from a clone as the clones all at once started attacking. Naruto had a small smile on his face as he increased his speed, quickly disappearing to any untrained eye. The clones roared out a battle cry as they too went into high speeds to catch up to the original Naruto. Meanwhile, Zabuza started his training on the 3 genins of Team 7. "Alright, you 3, show me what you got," Zabuza said as he held out his metallic arm, water particles in the air gathering in his hand as he created a water replica of Kubikiri Hocho. Amazing were the thoughts of the 3 genins as they themselves pulled out their own weapons. Sasuke ignited his sword's chakra blade, Konohamaru held onto his staff casually while Sakura crouched low on the ground, hands held behind her back. "Come," Zabuza taunted as he held the water blade loosely in his hand. Without warning, Team 7 rushed at him with their weapons. "Konoha Ryu, Mikatsuki no Mai," Sasuke roared out as distorted illusions of himself separated from his body. Zabuza watched in amusement as the illusions and real Sasuke came at him. "With your level you can't beat me with that technique yet," Zabuza said as he parried Sasuke's initial strike and followed through by kicking Sasuke away from him. Konohamaru appeared above Zabuza with his staff spinning wildly over his head. "Sarutobi Ryu, the Ape King's temper," Konohamaru roared as numerous wild and unpredictable strikes came Zabuza's way. Zabuza, not to disappoint on the deal with Naruto, showed his own style. "Kiri Ryu, Sweria Kiri Mist style, Water Dragon Cutter." Both attacks clashed into each other with Zabuza, having the more experience, pushed Konohamaru back. Out of nowhere, Sakura and Sasuke swooped in to support their teammates' attack. "Shinaro! Senbon Sakura Renda, Thousand Cherry Blossom Barrage," Sakura called out, letting loose the fury of her inner personality. With Sakura using her inner personality's wild and insane fury to attack, Zabuza tried to desperately block all the wild strikes Sakura sent his way. 2 close strikes almost cost Zabuza his family jewels when Sakura's clawed swipe came too close for comfort. Zabuza was now being hard-pressed with all 3 genins attacking, keeping him from even making a single hand seal. Well, Naruto, I got to hand to you, these genins got a rank A on teamwork and individually they're good. Zabuza thought as he called for a halt. Team 7 stopped at once, sweat dripping from their clothes. You three are quite good. Tomorrow after we meet the princess we will start on water walking and individual growth. Team 7 left with Zabuza following closely behind them towards where Naruto was training. When they arrived at the clearing, the whole area was in total disarray. The squad of Kage Bunshin Naruto summoned were down to 2. Craters decorated the clearing with smoke rising from those craters. Zabuza blinked when they saw the damage that Naruto had caused. Just as they blinked a second time, the clones fell backwards, disappearing upon touching the ground. Naruto now stood where the clones were, at a defensive stance, Zanpaku raised slightly above chest level. Amazing, I didn't even see him move. Were Team 7 and Zabuza's thoughts, but it was broken off when Naruto turned to them with a smile. Don't ask how I did it, and I'm not going to teach it to you, Naruto said, his last statement directed to both Sasuke and Konohamaru. But why, senpai? Sasuke inquired. He was interested in the technique that Naruto just performed. Naruto tapped his stomach, then his head, making it his explanation. Team 7 sort of knew that Naruto was Yondaime's son, but that was it. They still had no idea that Naruto was also Konoha's demon vessel. Bloodline limit? Sasuke asked again, but Naruto just shook his head. No, it's just something that my father left me. My dream is to surpass him after all. Sasuke left it at that. He had not forgotten about his ambition in resurrecting his clan, but Naruto's words kept coming back to him whenever he thought about Itachi. Forget about Itachi, forget about surpassing Itachi, instead focus on surpassing yourself, and then surpass at least one Sannin. Sasuke raised an eyebrow as to why would Naruto want him to surpass himself then the Sannin. To beat Itachi you have to surpass your own limits, and surpass at least the weakest of the legendary 3. Tsunadeheim? Sasuke inquired, but Naruto shook his head and replied, no, not Tsunadeheim, surpass Orochimaru. Sasuke was quite puzzled at this, since Orochimaru was said to be the strongest of the 3. So now each of Team 7 had a goal to achieve. Konohamaru's was to be acknowledged, same as Naruto. Sasuke's ambition was put aside in order for him to grow. Sasuke's rather cold exterior was broken when Team 7 started its missions. Naruto made sure of that. Sakura's goal was to at least be a good kunoichi who serves her village with pride. Naruto shrugged at that goal, seeing as it was ordinary but still a goal. Naruto respected Sakura for that. For the next 7 days Team 7 trained with Zabuza in the afternoons, while they kept watch over the princess. Their first meeting with the princess was an ordinary one, except for when they first saw her. They thought that being a princess she would be pampered and spoiled, but obviously stories and rumors can be wrong. Suilingheim and her escorts arrived as planned. Zabuza and his 2 deputies stood beside Tazuna and the rest of the town in welcoming her. Suilingheim rode on a horse, her garb in a light blue blouse and black tight pants. Naruto meanwhile was having trouble trying not to stare and drool at the princess. Suiling was very beautiful, with long wavy dark brown hair, a well-toned body and fair complexion. Suilingheim also had an angelic voice that was music to Naruto's ears, but sadly the princess was 7 years older than him. Naruto calmly got out of his dreamy state to focus on the person walking alongside Suilingheim. Jujin, Suilingheim's bodyguard, walked a few steps behind the princess. The man seemed a bit young to be a bodyguard, and also Naruto could detect a high amount of chakra from the ebony-haired man. Tazuna and Zabuza greeted the princess as she came nearer to them. Welcome to Wave Country, Sailing-sama, both of them greeted, which the princess returned with a smile. Naruto stepped forward, followed closely by Team 7. He bowed to the princess in greeting and then held out his hand to shake Joem's hand. Hi, I'm Jujin, nice to meet you, Suiling's bodyguard said after shaking Naruto's hand. Likewise, name's Uzumaki Naruto, and these are my teammates, the blonde Jounin responded as he stepped aside, giving Joem a view of Team 7. Joem waved at Team 7, giving them a smile. As the week of training and preparing came to its end, Team 7 got to know their honored guest. 2 of the genins found out that Suilingheim and Joem were close, affectionately close. Much to Konohamaru's disgust and Sakura's delight, they would often see Joem watching the princess closely, guarding her with his life. Both Naruto and Sasuke didn't react to this piece of information since they were more focused on finishing the training. At last the day of the pageant came. Everyone in Wave Country and a few dignitaries from Water Country arrived. Team 7 were scattered all over the place, scanning the crowds for any suspicious activities. Naruto meanwhile was with Joem guarding the contestants and the princess. Naruto meanwhile noticed one of the contestants, a well-endowed woman with a pale blonde hair tied in 2 ponytails. Naruto narrowed his eyes when he sensed a large amount of chakra being suppressed by the woman. Naruto didn't mind at first, but a nagging sensation kept on coming back to him that something was amiss. He continued his patrol after casting one last glance at the big-breasted female. Unknown to him, the woman noticed his gaze but also paid no heed to it, although inside she was alarmed that a Konohanin was present in the pageant. Naruto pressed a button hidden behind his ear as he spoke into the transmitter. Team 7, be on your guard and be on the lookout for hostiles. Also Sakura observed contestant number 3. Naruto heard all of their acknowledgement to his orders as he continued to patrol the whole tent. Everyone in the team were feeling nervous since there seemed to be a lot of dignitaries and people in the area. Meanwhile, the big-breasted contestant was sitting beside her assistant, chatting with her in hushed whispers. Shizen, there's some Konoha shinobi guarding this pageant, but they seem to be just kids. Sarutobi-sensei must have gone senile already and sent kids to guard important dignitaries. Tsunade whispered as she adjusted her gown to not reveal much of her cleavage. The dress she was wearing was already tight, her breasts almost ready to burst out from the rather constricting fabric. It's alright, Tsunade-sama, after we win this pageant and take the prize money we will make a hasty getaway. Although that blonde-haired shinobi seemed familiar, almost like we've met him before. Shizen replied as she adjusted Tsunade's clothes. Tsunade didn't say anything else. Her mind was going back to a small baby being handed to her by Sandaime. Is it you, Naruto-kun? Tsunade thought just as the announcer started calling out their numbers. Positioned at certain locations all over the tent, Team 7 and Suilingheim's bodyguard watched the pageant unfold while keeping alert for any suspicious. When all the contestants were on stage, feather began to come down from above the tent. Most of the crowd started to drop to the ground fast asleep. Instantly Team 7 raced towards the stage after dispelling the genjutsu, mentally thanking Naruto for teaching them this one release jutsu for situations like this. Naruto meanwhile watched closely at his team's performance. Joan was instantly by Suilingheim's side, sword drawn ready to defend the princess with his life. Protect the contestants with your lives, Naruto ordered as he himself leaped down from the catwalk where he was watching the scene below unfold as the huge tent began to come down. The delegates were already being evacuated by the security, and the Demon Brothers along with Zabuza also started to evacuate the civilians. In huge puffs of smoke a large group of Rainins appeared led by Rokushu Aoi. Raijin Ken ignited in his hand as he strode into the room with a smirk on his face. What's this? Kids and a security lapdog tried to stop me? Aoi said, noticing the lacking presence of Naruto. I guess Konoha's Shinigami was just a hoax and another wannabe ninja. It's a miracle he even got to Jounin rank. Doton Shinjuzanshu no Jutsu. A familiar voice roared out beneath Aoi, but the former Leaf Jounin had already leaped out of the way. Naruto brushed off some of the debris that was caught on his shirt. Rokushu Aoi, for your treachery against Konoha I have come to execute you, Naruto said just as Aoi commanded the Rainins to attack the 5 people standing in their way. Naruto charged forward, killing 2 Rainins instantly with a slash from Zanpaku. A shadow clone appearing beside Naruto which quickly leaped off, jumping into a group of rather alarmed Rainins. Aoi quickly drew Raijin upward, blocking Naruto's sword from cutting into his shoulder. Oh, so you still think you can beat me? Aoi asked before he added more strength into his block, pushing the blonde Jounin back. Naruto skidded a few meters away from Aoi using Zanpaku's blade to stabilize his footing. Meanwhile Sasuke was in combat with Murasame, his training with Zabuza actually paying off. Sakura was matching wits with the genius former Rainin Hisaime, and Konohamaru was settling a score with Kirasame. Sasuke held on to 2 double-edged kunais, one in each hand, while observing the advancing water clones commanded by Murasame. In a burst of speed Sasuke was able to deal with the clones with ease, rendering them mere puddles of water. Sakura meanwhile tried not to be intimidated by the water whip wielding Kunoichi. Hisaime flicked her wrist, sending a wave of water towards the pink-haired Kunoichi. Sakura quickly backflipped to avoid being hit by the rather dangerous liquid. The water she is using seems thick, possible chakra-induced, Sakura thought as she analyzed and formulated a plan. Hisaime, in her frustration that a girl half her age was dodging her attempts like it was nothing, drew more water from the surrounding air and created a second whip. Sakura quickly performed a series of hand seals after landing between 3 puddles of water. Miza Bunshin no Jutsu, Sakura said in a whisper as the puddle beside her rippled once before taking shape. 2 exact replicas of the pink-haired Kunoichi stood by her side, wielding various water-based weapons. Mizu Kagutsu no Jutsu, water puppet technique, Sakura managed to say as she began using her perfect chakra control to send the clones towards his aim. Can't use this jutsu for long, have to cancel it after 3 minutes to have the clones act independently, Sakura thought as she began driving her opponent into a corner. Feeling her control over the jutsu wavering, Sakura formed a half seal, canceling her control over the clones. She quickly reached into her pouch and popped a soldier pill into her mouth, feeling her chakra returning to her. Konohamaru meanwhile was hidden within a veil of mist. He was using beacon tags that Naruto had lent him to track Kirasame within the thick fog. Attaching the tag itself was rather hard for him, and he had the wound to prove it too. Kirasame had hit him by a kunai on the arm, nothing lethal, just a small wound. Konohamaru held onto his staff's handle. He hadn't activated it often, only using kunais and shurikens to try and make Kirasame jumpy. Konohamaru suddenly felt Naruto's chakra signature rise, which caused the young Sarutobi to smile. That's the signal to get serious and regroup, Konohamaru thought as he began to channel chakra to his ears and nose, hereby strengthening his sense of smell and hearing at least 10 times. Konohamaru quickly found Kirasame and 3 Mizu Bunshins standing alert. Time to see if my training with no brows has paid off, Konohamaru thought as he extended the staff's length with his chakra, adding a little twist with a half-horse seal. Kirasame tried to find the brat that he should have killed within seconds, but somehow the genin was more skilled than he thought. Kirasame quickly commanded his clones to form a delta formation around him while he collected water particles in the air. Kirasame started to form hand seals nervously, his mind making him perform them in the wrong sequence due to his paranoia. These brats aren't the same as before, he thought when he suddenly heard Konohamaru's voice from the surrounding mist. Sarutobi Ryu, Tsuyuki Osho Kigakoro, Sarutobi style, The Eight King's temper, Konohamaru's voice rang out from the mist. Kirasame felt the hair on the back of his neck stand up. The voice was coming from every direction. Kirasame quickly finished the last hand seal, but due to his earlier mistakes something went wrong. Suetun, Daibakufu no Jutsu. Kirasame sent himself crashing into an incoming Konohamaru clone with its staff ignited by a low-level right-end jutsu. The effects were instantaneous. Kirasame felt like 10 electric eels were attached to his balls and paying their respects to him. Konohamaru meanwhile didn't know that Kirasame was drenched by a backfiring jutsu. Konohamaru worked with his clones, attacking the helpless Kirasame non-stop. Konohamaru and his clone struck while trying to maintain the perfect chakra control over the lengthening and electricity on his weapon. Sasuke meanwhile was rather pleased with himself. He could see clearly now. He could see Murasame's movements clearly able to deflect and counter his attacks. So this is how it feels to fight with the Sharingan, Sasuke thought as he used his newly acquired Dijutsu to end his fight quicker. About time Sharingan manifested itself too, Sasuke added as an afterthought as he sidestepped and sent Murasame crashing into the ground with a spin kick. Sasuke's hand immediately found its way to Daywalker's handle as he locked eyes with Murasame, casting a Sharingan body binding jutsu. I may not be able to defeat Zabuza-san with this jutsu yet, but this will be enough to defeat you. Sasuke dashed forward, one hand won a half-ram seal while the other igniting Daywalker's silver-colored chakra blade. Konoha Ryu, Mikatsuki no Mai. Two Sasuke clones separated from Sasuke's body, both wielding swords of their own. Sasuke leaped high while his two clones converged on Murasame from both sides. Sasuke came down from the sky with a painful and hard slash that cut through Murasame's right shoulder downwards. Sasuke was breathing hard. This was the first time that he had taken a life of another, and it had sparked something in him. Sasuke had a smirk on his face as he deactivated Daywalker's blade. There was no blood on the clean cut, only a deep gash. This must how it will feel like when I end Itachi's life. Naruto pushed Aoi back with Zanpaku, the black blade almost cutting into Raijin's yellow blade. Naruto quickly leaped backwards, evading Saban needles coming from a rain nin to his right. Joem joined the fray, killing the rain nin with his sword. Aoi started forming a sequence of hand seals familiar to both Joem and Naruto. Naruto, not to be outdone, performed his own series of hand seals. Hayatan, Kaseki Shuriken, Ice Element, Crystal Shuriken. Naruto thought as the water puddle before him hardened to ice and changed into a crystal clear ice shuriken. Naruto picked up the 3 shurikens and began pouring his chakra and using Haku's powers. Time to show off what Haku has shown me. Aoi finished his hand seals, a smirk on his face as a huge amount of water rose from behind him. Suetun, Suryuden no Jutsu. The water took shape and let out a gurgled roar as it shot towards Naruto. Naruto quickly threw the ice shurikens towards the water dragon. The dragon opened up its watery maw and ate the chakra-filled shuriken, causing Aoi to laugh at Naruto's attempt. Naruto had a confident smile on his face as he quickly held out his hands in a cross position, fingers stretch out like a puppeteer. Hijutsu, Hayariya Sho Kagutsu, Advanced Technique, Ice Dragon Mirror Puppet. Aoi's dragon suddenly froze in mid-action as the crystal shuriken began its intended job. Naruto's fingers were now filled with chakra strings as he started directing the ice dragon towards the surprised Aoi. Aoi quickly shook the surprise from his face and charged forward, using Raijin's blade to try and redirect the ice dragon's sharp teeth from him. Aoi used the Raijin's chakra blade to escape the dragon as he continued to charge forward. Naruto braced himself ready to block Aoi's strike, but he miscalculated Aoi's intended target. Naruto quickly understood who Aoi was aiming for. The rogue Jounin was aiming for Suilinghime, who was left unguarded due to Joem and Naruto's battles. Shurmata, Naruto thought as he watched in horror. Aoi had a sinister smirk on his face as he pulled his hand back ready to stab Suilinghime with Raijin's blade, but suddenly Joem appeared right in his path. Blood splattered on the floor as Aoi connected Raijin's blade to Joem's midsection. "You bastard! Get out of my way!" Aoi screamed as he tried to pry off Raijin's blade from the heavily injured bodyguard. Suilinghime meanwhile was shocked and rooted to the spot at what just happened. Naruto instantly warped beside Aoi and backhanded the rogue Jounin into a post. Naruto slowly pried off Raijin's blade and began to administer first aid. In the sidelines, Tsunade, shaking at the sight of blood, was being comforted by Shizen trying to calm her down. Suilinghime, still in shock, managed to crawl her way to Joem's side, crying and begging the raven-haired bodyguard not to leave her. Naruto, still trying to stop the blood flowing from Joem's fatal wound, caught sight of the now recognizable Tsunade. "Tsunade-Kazan?" Naruto asked as he quickly tried to assess the situation. Thinking up of a way to save the brave bodyguard's life, Naruto ran to Tsunade and began begging her to help treat Joem's wounds. "Tsunade-Kazan, please, I beg you to help treat this man," Naruto said, pointing to Joem. Tsunade, still shaking from her hematophobia, couldn't speak due to her fear, but she caught sight of the weeping Suiling and remembered her own lost love Dan. She then looked up and saw a similar resemblance to Nawaki in Naruto. "My dream is to be Hokage." She remembered those words in 3 different voices: Dan's voice, Nawaki's voice, and finally the 4-year-old voice of Naruto. Tsunade, although still shaking, got up from where she was trembling and quickly began to treat the injured man. Shizen began assisting her by reassuring Suilinghime that everything would be alright now. Naruto meanwhile stood up facing an enraged Aoi. Naruto cast an emotionless glance to the side, seeing his three-man team standing ready. You three watch carefully because you will be learning this technique when we get back to Konoha, Naruto said as he took a single step towards Aoi before disappearing in a burst of ebony flash. Aoi used his umbrella to send Saban needles at the black blur rocketing towards him. Aoi, now frustrated, redirected his Saban umbrella towards the contestants and operating Tsunade. Hold it! You spineless coward, attacking defenseless civilians and injured people, Naruto said as he intercepted the Saban needles and began advancing towards Aoi again. Aoi jumped back, his hands performing hand seals ending in the tiger hand seal. Katon, Gakaku no Jutsu! Aoi shot a huge fireball towards the black blur towards him. Naruto stared straight into the huge ball of flame roaring through the air towards him. Naruto closed his eyes before letting out a growl induced by Kyuubi's chakra. The flame, now overpowered by Naruto's chakra roar, extinguished itself on Aoi as Naruto appeared behind the rogue Jounin, icy mist escaping from him. Hijitsu, Maku Hayashu! Naruto poured 30 of his remaining chakra into the blood's powers as the icy mist and moisture into the air formed a dome of ice mirrors surrounding Aoi. The onlookers watched as a dome of mirrors formed and a black blur from the mirrors attacked Aoi. The onlookers only saw Aoi flying into the air like a rag doll, screaming in pain from the injuries being inflicted on him. The blur shot past Aoi, numerous slash marks appearing on his arms and upper torso. The blur stopped above the injured Aoi, who was now trying to retaliate by performing another Katon Jutsu. You think I'm a hoax? I'll show you why this sword is called Zanpakuh, Naruto spoke as he bit into his thumb and ran the blood on Zanpakuh's black blade. The blood on the blade began gathering to the tip as red kanji appeared on the Shinigami sword. Zanpakuh look forward Kuchios. Taiso no Rosudo Kampaku. Summoning. Requiem of the Lost Souls. Naruto raised Zanpakuh high up into the air, black flames erupting from the blade as he swung it downwards. A huge corona of black flames shot out from Zanpakuh as it took the shape of a black falcon. The falcon dived downwards at a speed of 250 miles per hour towards Aoi. The falcon struck Aoi at the chest, raking its burning talons at the rogue Jounin. Naruto landed on the ground, panting, and the flames from Zanpakuh's blade just ebbing. Tsunade and Shizen standing proud over a now stabilized Joem. Suilinheim sitting beside Joem, placing the raven-haired bodyguard's head on her lap. Naruto shook his head at the affectionate display. Team 7 soon joined them in celebrating in their first successful CB rank mission. Time jumped to 3 days later. Naruto stood by the entrance of the tent as he watched the judges crown the winners of the beauty pageant. Behind him were Team 7, relaxed and enjoying the show. All 3 genins had huge grins on their faces when Suilinheim's name was called. Suilinheim won as first runner-up and Tsunade surprisingly was crowned as Miss Wave Country. Tsunade had a huge grin on her face as she held on to the check prize money. Tsunade and her debts, Naruto thought as he followed Konohamaru and Sakura to congratulate both Suilinheim and Tsunadeheim. Joem, with one arm in a sling and half of his upper torso wrapped in bandages, was instantly by Suilinheim's side congratulating her. Tsunade meanwhile was trying to wrestle Shizen for the check since Tsunade wanted to go to the nearest casino. After the celebration and some light gambling on Tsunade's part, Zabuza and the townsfolk took Naruto and Team 7 to the completed bridge where Tazuna was waiting for them. Naruto and Tsunade were talking on their way to the bridge. Kazan, will you be coming with us back to Konoha? Naruto inquired while trying not to let the slug Sannin know his intentions. Tsunade was silent for a moment before replying. Do you still have the necklace I gave you? Tsunade replied, at which Naruto nodded and pulled out the emerald stone dangling from his neck. Tsunade gave him a smile before placing a hand on his chin and giving him a kiss on the forehead. Naruto had a shocked expression on his face while Tsunade just gave him a joyful grin. I'll be coming back with you to Konoha, Naruto-kun. I'd like to start that medical nin academy Sarutobi-sensei promised me years ago. The group reached the bridge where a huge sign was covered with a piece of cloth. Tazuna and Zabuza pulled the cloth covering the sign, which revealed the name of the bridge. Naruto-kun, not long ago you helped bring courage back to our country and freed us from Gata's tyranny. In gratitude, we the people of Wave Country would like to name this super bridge the Great Naruto Bridge in your honor, Tazuna announced. Naruto was silent for a few minutes while the rest of the group cheered and congratulated the young Jounin. The blonde Jounin bowed in respect to the people of Wave Country. Thank you for this honor, I was just doing my duty as a shinobi, Naruto replied as he took out Zanpakuh and cut the ribbon, opening the bridge to all travelers. The people of Wave Country bade goodbye to the departing Konoha shinobi. Naruto quickly signaled for his team to pick up the speed while Tsunade and Shizen just shrugged at Naruto's actions and followed the team back to Konoha. Unseen by the others, Naruto had a smile behind his mask ever since they left. Remember this always, Team 7A shinobi is both a weapon and a human being. A weapon of a shinobi village and a country, but she is also a human being who must use his mind and heart to make decisions of his own accord. Live a life of no regrets, and never go back on your word. This is my shinobi code. It is up to you to make your own nindo. Sakura POV. 3 months has passed since our first high-ranking mission. Team 7 under the command of rookie Jounin Sensei Uzumaki Naruto had brought back one of the Sannin Tsunadeheim, and the legendary sword of Naruto Hokage Raijin Ken. During those 3 months, Naruto-senpai brought our already strenuous training regimen up a notch by giving each of us additional weights, and teaching us one of his personal jutsu, Jinsaku Sokushin, Rapid acceleration, a technique that amplified a nin's speed by 5-fold. The training that all three of us went through was really hard, almost like going through hell and back, but I guess it was worth it. We got the basics of the jutsu that Naruto-senpai used on that Aoi guy. Tsunade-sama had put up the Medic Nin Academy granted to her by Sandaime-sama. The school opened a week after we came back from the CB rank mission after getting our paycheck, of course. Naruto-senpai gave us our share of the bounty on the Rain Nins we defeated. 2 members of Team 7 joined the Medic Nin Academy, me and surprisingly the kid in our team, Sarutobi Konohamaru. During those 3 months we received personal training as well. Each one of the 3 months one of us would be absent during team trainings for personal training. My personal trainer was Shizen-san, Tsunade-sama's apprentice. She helped me get started with basic medical jutsus for field healing and off-field healing. Naruto-senpai also had me trained to be in sync with my inner personality, inner Sakura. I never really knew why I had this split personality in the first place, but from Shizen-sensei's diagnosis it must have been because I never showed much anger and mostly hid it deep inside, thus the creation of inner Sakura. The jutsu that Naruto-senpai and I created, Senden Sakura Rendo, was now a part of my arsenal. I can use it effectively more than 5 times a day before collapsing on the ground with chakra exhaustion and stamina loss. Both Shizen-sensei and Naruto even made me eat more and try to raise my stamina, something I'm really thankful for since now my goal is to be the best kunoichi in Konoha, just like Tsunade-sama. Konohamaru came next during the 2nd month. He was trained by the Jounin sensei Mado guy, Kakashi-san's insane rival. Seriously, the man needed to get a haircut, tone down on his voice volume, and get a fashion designer. Although the man seemed to be insane, he still knew his taijutsu. After Konohamaru-kun had his surgery, which of course was only approved when Naruto-senpai and Tsunade-sama got the approval from Sarutobi Asuma-sensei and Sandaime-sama, Konohamaru wanted to increase his strength, although that could be done with training as well. With nervousness, Shizen-sensei and Tsunade-sama worked on Konohamaru-kun's developing body, tweaking on his muscles and adjusting them to accelerate the muscle strength. But something went wrong with the operation, due to Tsunade-sama's alcoholic tendencies had tweaked something that wasn't even supposed to be awakened until Konohamaru-kun got older. The Sarutobi clan, I heard, had an affinity with the 8 family, hence their clan name Saru, which meant monkey. The clan bloodline relied on borrowing the strength of the strongest of the 8 family, the gorilla, and other members of the 8 family. When Konohamaru underwent the surgery, Tsunade-sama accidentally awakened the bloodline, causing the young Sarutobi to have his hair grow longer, and his arms to be slightly longer than they should be. Of course, Sandaime-sama was quite surprised with this sudden development, since Konohamaru-kun is the first to ever have the ability awakened. So now the kid in our team looks more ape than human, but laughing at him will only get you either a lot of broken teeth or broken bones. None of Team 7 laughed at Konohamaru-kun because, as Naruto-senpai said, everyone should be respected no matter what they look like, or how much they are different in attitude. Konohamaru-kun got training in channeling the raw strength he had in his now 2 powerful arms from Tsunade-sama and Mado-san. Luckily, Naruto-senpai threatened Gai-san that if Konohamaru-kun ever starts wearing green spandex, he would break every bone in Gai's body and use him as a target practice for little old me. Sometimes Naruto-senpai can be really scary. I've even seen his eyes turn blood red, but not like Sasuke-kun's Sharingan. It seemed more beast-like and had raw killer intent, which even now is giving me nightmares. Speaking of Sasuke-kun, the number 1 rookie of the year got personal training on the 3rd month by Hatake Kakashi, Naruto-senpai's older brother. I was quite surprised that Hatake-san had the Uchiha clan Dijitsu in one eye when he wasn't related to Sasuke-kun. I read somewhere that Hatake-san was taught by Yondaime-sama, Naruto-senpai's father. He is also known as Copy Ninja Kakashi because of the single Sharingan eye, and that he had copied over 1,000 jutsus. I also found out that Kakashi-san is a pervert who reads Ika Ika Paradise. I swear if I ever find the author, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind and introduce him to Samban Sakura Renda. Also during those 3 months, Naruto-senpai helped Kurenai-sensei in training her team. It was a real shocker when Naruto-senpai brought Team 7 to Team 8's training field. During the joint training sessions, Kurenai-sensei and Naruto switched with each other. Kurenai-sensei trained us while Naruto-senpai trained Team 8. It was really cool to see Naruto-senpai prove to us again that he would in a few years really become the next Hokage. Flashback begins. Kurenai was overseeing Sakura and Sasuke's training while Naruto challenged Team 8 to a battle. All 4 members of Team 8 surrounded Naruto, who was standing casually as if waiting for them to attack. "Well?" Naruto asked just as Kiba and Akamaru roared out a battle cry and charged forward. Naruto turned his head towards the right, watching Kiba and Akamaru's movements. "Your speed has increased, but you're still attacking like a lunatic," Naruto stated as he briefly caught Kiba's outstretched hand and threw him off towards Shino, who had released his Kikai bugs at Naruto. Taking a short glance down, Naruto noticed the bugs starting to crawl towards him. He then glanced back up, looking at the dark round lenses of the young Aburame heir. "Impressive move, Aburame-san. You too, Hyuga-san," Naruto said as he tried to turn his head behind him, only to be met by a small delicate-looking palm glowing with chakra. Hinata meanwhile was shaking inside. She was really scared right now. The boy in front of her, although still a rookie Jounin, was known as one of the Hokage's top shinobis in the village. She had heard of Uzumaki Naruto from her father, that the blonde-haired Jounin was trained by Jiraiya, one of the Sannin, the very same who trained the Yondaime. You really shouldn't show your fear like that, Hyuga-san. Naruto's voice snapped Hinata out of her thoughts. Hinata looked down in embarrassment, her cheeks turning red in a blush. Gogoman na Naruto-senpai, I promise I'll try better next time. Hinata stuttered, refusing to glance up and look Naruto in the eye. The blonde Jounin scratched his head in confusion, trying to understand why Hinata was so shy, quite different from the other Hyugas he crossed paths with. Most Hyugas were like they had jackhammers stuck up their asses. Come on, Hinata-san, remember what I told you about stuttering? Naruto asked with a warm smile on his face. Hinata's face grew redder from the way Naruto just smiled at her. Naruto stretched his body and once more motioned for all three to attack. Your teamwork is impressive, you've at least landed a hit on me 2 times now, Naruto said as he quickly moved to the side, letting Akamaru shoot past him. He then whirled around, sending a sizable amount of chakra towards Shino to fend off his bugs. After distracting Shino's bugs, Naruto faced Kiba and Hinata. Kiba charged first on all fours with the Hyuga heiress close behind, pearl white orbs blazing with intensity. Good, she's starting to have confidence in her abilities, Naruto thought as he leaped over Kiba and engaged Hinata in a short taijutsu match. In the background, Sasuke and Sakura watched their Jounin leader push Team 8 past their limits. Always remember to never give up, you all have goals still to achieve, and Hinata-san, come here for a minute, I have something to teach you. Hearing their names being called, both members of Team 7 returned to their assigned task, mainly learning some genjutsu from Kurenai. After giving them the instructions, Kurenai sat back and watched Naruto push her team up the limits. It was really different from the way she trained them. It seems in Naruto's case he stresses teamwork and respect into the team. He also disciplines them, rather harshly too, from the way all 3 team members immediately stand at attention when they arrived that morning. Kurenai watched Team 7 for a few minutes before coming to a realization. That nut, she thought to herself as she observed carefully, then thought back to the ANBU trainings she'd seen. She then compared Team 7's movements and teamwork to that of an ANBU team. Damn it, that baka Naruto, he isn't training them like Genin, Kurenai thought. He's training just like how he trains his ANBU team. Kurenai thought. No wonder those 3 are far more advanced and their teamwork are already A-ranked. Kurenai thought as she herself grew a bit jealous at the way Naruto lead his team. She had just recently taught Team 8 the tree climbing exercise, which of course earned her a questioning eyebrow from Naruto. Her thoughts were broken when Naruto called for a halt and decided to call it a day. End of flashback. I don't know why Kurenai-sensei always asked Naruto-senpai to help training her team when she was doing a fine job, but I guess she just liked the way Kiba seemed to shut up when Naruto's around and how Hinata had improved with Naruto-senpai's help. The shy Hyuga heiress no longer stuttered when she talked and was more confident in her abilities. She seems to have improved in skill as well. After the 3-month training regiment, Naruto-senpai surprisingly rewarded us by nominating us for the upcoming Chunin selection exam. I can't wait to try and test my growth against Inopig or any foreign shinobis. Naruto-senpai told us to be prepared for the worst. Initially he didn't want to expose us to the Chunin selection exam so early in our rookie year, but with Kurenai-sensei and Asuma-sensei's convincing him, Naruto-senpai reluctantly nominated us. The first exam was a breeze for me since it involved a paper test, although I could have cheated during that test. I saw Sasuke-kun cheat by using his Sharingan to copy the movements of the person in front of him. I was more afraid of Konohamaru since the boy seemed to have been trembling. I thought that Konohamaru would raise his hand and quit, but as Naruto-senpai taught us, Konohamaru didn't give up at all. Instead, the boy was the one who answered the final question of the scary examiner. We then started the second part of the exam with another scary teacher. This time the examiner is a woman, and most of the shinobi are gawking at her despite her threats. She introduced herself as Midarashi Enko, and from the look in her eyes I can tell she's a bloodthirsty one. I've seen those kind of eyes from Naruto-senpai. Suddenly I feel this intense surge of killing intent heading towards us. I desperately calmed my nerves down and tried to glance sideways to see who is staring at me. Teal orbs met my emerald orbs as he stared hard at me with emotionless, almost dead eyes. I shivered as I cast my glance away from the red-haired Sannin. That guy gives me the creeps. After Sasuke-kun handed our papers in and had retrieved our heaven scroll, Konohamaru led the team to Gate 12 where a Chunin examiner was waiting. What's the plan, Sakura? Sasuke asked as he sat down on a stump. Konohamaru meanwhile was checking our supply pouches. He quickly pulled out the small radio transmitters that we always carried and threw them each to us. I caught the radio transmitter easily as I set my gaze towards the dark forest beyond the steel fence. After a few minutes of weighing our options, I finally was able to come up with a strategy. I guess when the exam starts and the gate is open, we rush inside and find a good campsite. We have 5 days for this exam. Once we find a suitable campsite, Sasuke-kun, you start setting traps and alarms. Konohamaru-kun, gather some fruits. I doubt the animals in this forest are easy to kill. I finished as I withdrew my hand from the small layout I drew. Sasuke-kun and Konohamaru looked at the layout for a minute or two before I erased the drawing with my foot. Do we really have to wait for the 5 days to finish? Konohamaru asked, which earned him an irritated look from Sasuke. I let out a sigh as Sasuke said explained his own plan. We can't really wait for the 5 days to be done. So here is how I see it. After we set up Camp Sakura, since you're the best at genjutsu, you'll create a genjutsu trap on the pathway, Sasuke said. I gave him a small smile at his praise of my skills in genjutsu. Months ago Sasuke-kun would have just said he'll handle everything. Konohamaru and I will set up our own traps and try to subdue any of the teams that fall into your traps. Just as we finished planning, the weirdly loud examiner, who seemed to have been embarrassed from the way that weird Grasnin with the long tongue winked at her. With a command from her, the Chunin guards opened the gates wide open. Serious expressions covered our faces as the three of us rushed into the secluded area. A nod from Sasuke gave us the signal to take to the trees, which earned us a grin from Konohamaru. Once up in the trees, we fanned out, keeping only radio distance in order to find a suitable campsite. After a few minutes, a barely audible sound came from my right ear. It was Konohamaru-kun. He found a suitable campsite. I immediately headed towards Konohamaru's position. As I leaped from one branch to another, I sensed faint chakra signatures following me closely. A smile formed on my face as I whispered my discovery to the rest of the team. 3 blind mice are following me. Sasuke POV. 3 blind mice are following me. I heard Sakura's whispered voice while nodding to Konohamaru to prepare for an ambush. I'm glad Naruto-senpai taught us some of the Anbu code, although I think some of it is his idea of a joke. I immediately ran up a tree, a almost invisible wire being dragged behind me. I watched 7 Konohamarus ready and waiting, armed with explosive tags and the quarterstaff. Sakura came into view, stopping in the middle of the clearing. Once she stopped, her pursuers came down from behind her. I watched as Sakura faked weakness, baiting them further into our trap. With a knowing grin, which was the signal to spring the trap, Sakura pulled a few strings behind her, launching some of the kunai traps behind her pursuers. With the kunai traps activated, I quickly leaped out of my hiding place, followed closely by Konohamaru and his clones. As I descended on the unsuspecting trio of shinobi, I couldn't help but chuckle at the sight of their hatayates. Rain Nins, with knowing smirks from my 2 other teammates. We quickly subdued the jumpsuit-wearing Rain Nins. After tying the unconscious Rain Nins to a tree, Konohamaru quickly searched their pouches for the scrolls that we needed. After a few minutes of rummaging, Konohamaru finally was able to extract the brown earth scroll. I gave them a nod as I leaped up to the trees, heading north towards the tower. Let's hurry up and head to the tower, I said into the mouthpiece as a triumphant smirk formed on my face. We traveled at a considerable fast pace, the tower drawing nearer as the screams of other teams echoed through the dark forest. I set my sights on the location when I felt a fast-moving chakra projectile coming our way. Kyuso, an intruder, I thought, before a large gust of wind blew me and my teammates backwards. Using the training that I had gained from Kakashi-sensei and Naruto-senpai, I easily landed on a branch not far from where the blast of wind originated from. A few feet away from me were Sakura, and hanging from a branch above me was Konohamaru. Ku, impressive Sasuke-kun. A female hissing voice came from beneath the ground as something rose from the ground. I watched as the Grasnin from before rose up from the ground, his long tongue licking at the side of her face. That dude must have one fucked up childhood, I thought in disgust at the way this person addressed me like he knew me or something. Who the hell are you and what do you want? I asked while giving off faint signals to Sakura and Konohamaru to be ready for anything. The Grasnin continued to chuckle in a really sadistic way. Without warning, the Grasnin made eye contact with us. Immediately my life flashed right in my head, from the time when the clan was still in one piece to that very night when Itachi brutally massacred it, leaving only him and me, and an unknown other Uchiha alive. Genjutsu and killer intent combined. I thought as I urged my body to move, I can sense that the others are in the same predicament as I am. I suddenly heard someone choking from the fear. Kyuso, Sakura and Konohamaru can't take any more of this, I can't stand this anymore, think I thought as I tried to remember. Something that bastard of a brother taught me once. Fear is a powerful weapon, but even the ultimate weapon has its own weakness. The Kanashibari no Jutsu, although a weak technique in the hands of an amateur, it can be very dangerous when used by a sadist or someone who enjoys killing. The Kanashibari uses a target's fear of death and replays it in the target's mind over and over again, or only once. To escape it, use pain. Itachi's voice came drawling into my head. I remembered that incident after he said that he stabbed me on the leg with his kunai, as if to teach me a lesson. I also remembered when Naruto-senpai used that jutsu on me and Sakura kicked me in my family jewels. The ugly Grasnin was starting to make his way towards me. A dangerous glint could be seen in his eyes. Shit, this guy is insane, I thought as I finally was able to grab a kunai from my holster and jam the blade into my knee. Ironically, the same place where Itachi rammed his kunai. Without looking at the shocked look from the Grasnin, I grabbed Sakura and Konohamaru and fled to a safer location. I set Konohamaru and Sakura down by the branch after the effects of the Kanashibari wore off. Suddenly a huge snake slithered from the canopy, its fangs bared as it shot towards us. Kyuso, I thought as we leaped away, my hands finding its way to a familiar pattern of hand seals. Katon, Gakkaku no Jutsu, I proclaimed as I inhaled deep and exhaled a large fireball that began to eat the snake. The snake writhed in pain trying to put out the flames and the onslaught of shurikens from Sakura and Konohamaru. I scanned the area when the Grasnin appeared again, this time riding on top of a large snake. Shit, were my thoughts as I scrambled out of the branch I was in just as the weirdo came crashing down with its pet snake. What the hell do you want? I asked as I came into position for a delta attack formation. I pulled out 3 kunais from my holster, waiting for the weird person to make his move. Kukuku, I want to test you, Sasuke-kun, the Grasnin replied, again licking his face with that gross long tongue. Without warning, the Grasnin attacked, sending the snake he was riding on towards me. I leaped away, my eyes never leaving the grass Nin as I once again performed a sequence of hand seals. Sakura meanwhile had finished her jutsu. I heard her call out the technique. Kuzatan, Kusa na Washibari. Grass element, grass rope binder. Immediately the surrounding shrubbery from the trees came to life. Grass grew to great lengths and wrapped around the disguised Sanin. The grass ropes suddenly burst into mud, deafening eerie laugh filling the air. Coo, impressive teamwork but not good enough, the grass Nin's voice echoed throughout the area. I shivered at the way he said those words. This guy is really starting to tick me off, I thought as Konohamaru and Sakura landed beside me. I took out my remaining kunais and some wire. The grass Nin suddenly disappeared from my sights only to reappear beside Konohamaru and send the boy through the air. With quick and trained reflexes, Sakura immediately threw a pair of kunais to save our down teammate. Shit, this isn't going too well and that bastard is toying with us, I thought as the grass Nin sneered at us in a toying manner. After all the training that Naruto-senpai and all the other shinobis who have helped me, I didn't like to be toyed with. I am an Uchiha and no one makes a fool out of Uchiha Sasuke. With my patience growing thin, I closed my eyes as my chakra began to float to my onyx orbs. Sharingan. I thought out loud as everything in my sight became much more clearer. The grass Nin just squealed in delight as if it was happy that I revealed my bloodline limit. Without wasting any time, I threw the kunais towards the grass Nin. Using the wires I immediately controlled its movements. The grass Nin gasped in surprise as the kunais shot past him and began to wrap the wires attached to him. I opened the Fuma shuriken that I had taken from one of my hidden pockets and threw it towards the already wrapped shinobi. You're annoying, I said as the streamlined shuriken wrapped more wires around the grass Nin, using my Sharingan to make sure that the wires were wrapped around vital part of his body. Sharingan Safusha Santachi. Copy will I windmill triple blade. After placing the end of the wires in my lips I began to perform a rapid sequence of hand seals. After finishing the final seal I called out the technique as the chakra in my lugs began to move towards my mouth. Katan, Ryuka no Jutsu. I exhaled, letting the flames run through the wires towards the grass Nin. I watched as my strongest fire jutsu hit its mark, burning the grass Nin to a crisp. Without waiting if the grass Nin survived I immediately moved to check on Konohamaru and Sakura. I quickly found Sakura with Konohamaru leaning against a tree trunk. I gave them a small smile as I sat down to rest. Is it dead? Sakura asked while I just nodded in reply, trying not to let my excitement fill me. Sakura didn't ask any more questions when the same laugh began to echo through our hiding place. Coo, impressive Sasuke-kun mastering such a complicated jutsu, and using your bloodline limit. A voice in front of us spoke out as it rose from the ground. The voice was still the same but the face was no longer the gay-looking grass Nin but a pale-faced man. It stood there, the skin which was obviously burnt formed the Ryuka no Jutsu falling to the ground in pieces. Who the hell are you? I repeated my question earlier as I stood up trying not to show any weakness. My body was in pain from the constant moving plus the consumption of my chakra. The pale-faced Nin licked his lips before going into a fit of giggles. This guy is annoying and has a girly laugh, I thought while Sakura tried to hide Konohamaru out of sight. The grass Nin gave me a smirk before answering my question. My name is Orochimaru and I have come to test you if you are worthy of my gift, the grass Nin, now known as Orochimaru, said. My eyes went wide in shock when I heard those words. Orochimaru, shit, I thought when Orochimaru pulled out a sword from his very mouth and charged towards me. Out of instinct I pulled out Daywalker and brought it forward to block Orochimaru's blade. The two swords clashed together before Orochimaru pushed forward, shattering Daywalker's blade. Shit! I said as I stared at the remains of my sword. I barely dodged to the right when Orochimaru made eye contact with me, causing my body to be paralyzed. Shit, Genjutsu Shibari no Jutsu. I struggled to move but Orochimaru had other plans as his neck elongated, snaking its way towards me. Orochimaru had a grin on his face as I struggled to move. Move, damn it! Move or I'll never catch up to him. I thought desperately. Time seemed to slow down when death nears you. I saw my life flash before my eyes and my only regret was I never got to ask that bastard why he did it. Just as Orochimaru's head came close to me I felt something push my body away from the snake Sennin.